to because, we know what they're working on and they know what we're working on.
We'll go to Mike Rodak next. Go ahead, Mike.
Yep. Yesterday, you announced the signing of Josh Ford out of the portal. Just what did you see out of him from Oklahoma State, and just kind of where do you see him fit again next year?
Yeah, we just need tight ends, guys that are versatile and can do the thing on the line of scrimmage for us and give us some size. And we also, need guys that can make the catches and be a threat, in the passing game. And so just really feel good about the direction that room can continue to go. We got the graduation of Josh and Danny this year. And so got some good young guys, but could use some veteran, guys that have been in the college world a little bit, and he brings that.
Okay, we'll go to Matthew Mason next.
And welcome into this Friday edition of the Miller's Edge, Top 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Just heard a little bit from Kalen DeBoer's interview this Wednesday. Big thanks to Chase helping getting some of that going. Apologize for the delay on my end, man. I had some tech difficulties. Internet started going in and out. The mic going in and out. Still a little sensitive here, so we're going to be careful. Just know if we kind of cut in for a second, we got it handled. It's just a little sensitivity on my end, but nonetheless, man, we're here. We're ready to roll on this free-for-all Friday game day edition of the Miller's Edge, Top 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Excited to rock and roll. We're going to get our final word in for this matchup again tonight. Normally we'd be doing it the day before, but it's going to be tonight, right? We got our playoff game this evening, 7 p.m. Central Time kick. So we'll get you guys ready for that, put our final touches on our thoughts on this matchup. We'll get the final predictions in there. We'll give you ours. Want to get y'all's for a chance to win a signed football. 205-342-9904. You guys can do that there. You can leave your predictions on the phone lines or call in, talk to me, drop them there, or leave them with Chase. You can drop them here on the comment section of our YouTube stream, Facebook stream, all that good stuff, or send them in via the Tide 100.9 app that we urge you guys to download if you haven't already. Again, it's completely free. Google Play Store, Apple App Store, all that good stuff. Man, check it out. It's a great app. It allows you to leave messages, so listen to all the shows wherever you're at and all that stuff, and read articles. So you might as well do it. Plus, if you guys like listening to the post-game show that me and Gray Robertson do, you can listen to the Crimson Tide Sports Network with the app as well. That said, Chase, man, a lot of things to touch on today, get some final thoughts in here. I've got some those snippets and clips of what the national media is saying about this game right now because, listen, a lot of eyes are on this matchup. It's a first-round matchup. It's a rematch. We know what happened the last time these two teams played in a football game. A little bit of an ugly game, you know what I mean? Definitely on our end, but just kind of some back and forth, really just a story of a bunch of turnovers and ended up being a 23-21 narrow victory for Oklahoma. Can Alabama get their get back on the road in Norman this time? We talked with Rodney Anderson yesterday, former Oklahoma running back. He gave us his thoughts on the matchup. He shared with us, hey, they're closing schools down there. So these fans over at Norman, man, they're excited for this matchup. I believe it's the first time being in the playoffs under newer head coach Brent Venables. So a lot of excitement and enthusiasm on there. And quick question, do we have a lot of fans traveling to this game? Chase, have you heard from any of our callers or any of our listeners earlier? Is there a big group of Bama fans traveling? I feel like I hadn't really seen too much. I guess the only thing I would see is maybe on social media. But for any of our listeners or our folks in the comment section here, if anybody's going or knows anybody going, let me know. I'm curious. But, yeah, man, looking forward to it. We'll definitely dive into all this action. At the top of the hour, we will talk with Reagan Starn of R&R Cigars, get his smoking hot picks. We're not the only ones playing. We got, other playoff games today, tomorrow. So we will discuss those as well, give our thoughts on the college football playoffs, man. It's an exciting time of the year, man. A lot of things to look forward to. With that being said, let me remind you about our friends over at the Good Feet Store, America's Art Sport Experts. Try before you buy, nothing to lose. Make sure you guys check them out. They will take care of that hip pain, knee pain, back pain, whatever, foot pain that you're dealing with those premium art sports designed to eliminate and alleviate all types of pain in just 4 short weeks. If you have it, man, walk on in the store. They take in walk-ons, and you can always schedule an appointment at the Good Feet store's website, goodfeet.com. Make sure you go check that out, schedule that appointment, find the nearest location to you. Just type in your zip code. They're nationwide, man. These things are game changers. So let them be game changers for you, just like they've been for me, man. I love these things. Again, that is the Good Feet Store. Improving the quality of people's lives 2 feet at a time. Chase, I know we talked a little bit about, I know we heard a little bit. I think it was Josh Pate. He gave some thoughts. It was more so about the whole coaching situation. We talked about that, but I don't know how much you keep up with ESPN, CBS, all that stuff. But even if hell, you don't even just watch the whole show. I mean, there's a bunch of clips going around, Chase, and yeah, obviously, we're just like that. One guy had asked, "Is this a Bama show?" Well, I mean, might as well be, right? I mean, we talk 85, 90% Alabama football, really, and me being a former player, we're on Tide 100.9. Yeah, you can pretty much say that, but it's kind of interesting, Chase. I mean, there's a lot of folks, and not that this matters, but I don't know, it's kind of interesting to me because we talk about hey, it's tough to beat a good football team twice narrative, which I think there definitely is some, not just a narrative, there's some truth to that. We know that. We found that out in the SEC championship game after talking about it. But you don't really see that narrative being pushed with this matchup, Chase. There's not as much faith in the Alabama Crimson Tide going on the road to Norman, Oklahoma this evening. And it's kind of interesting to me, man. I mean, listen, I understand the matchup. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a dogfight, another defensive showdown, probably a lower scoring game. I understand all that. And I understand playing on the road. But again, we always talk about that you don't want to play a team twice. I just don't feel like we're hearing a lot of that on our end right now, Chase. Do you think there's a lack of respect for Alabama right now, or do you think it's kind of warranted? I mean, listen, we don't really wear crimson glasses over here. I mean, yes, we always are going to, have Alabama's best interest well, let me say it like this. We're going to be honest, but when we can, we're going to try our best to find every positive we can about Alabama. That's the best way to put it, right? Without being biased. I guess that's the best way to try to, describe that. That said, we haven't played great football, especially offensively over the last 4 or 5 games. I get all that, but I don't know, Chase. I mean, do you think it's a little disrespectful, or you think it's warranted given how we've looked the past 4 or 5 football games?
I think it's a little disrespectful.
Mm.
Alabama has gotten this point for a reason. They didn't sneak in. They didn't need anybody's help. They got to the SEC championship off
Yep.
offense and defense and somewhat special teams and their head coaching staff. So I think it's just the narrative to always poo-poo on Bama whenever they have the chance. And I think it's much of a motivating factor for Alabama to use and to really just play back clips of people saying Bama has lost its juice. Ty Simpson is not that quarterback anymore, even with Josh Cuevas and so many others coming back. It's not enough. It's just this is what Bama needs to show that, hey, we are still the standard. Even when you knock us down, we still have more in the tank than what you realize. And you'll see that in Norman later today. But yeah, I've seen a lot on Twitter, Christian. I don't know if you've seen a lot of this when you were playing, but it's just strange to me to see people just not afraid of Bama anymore. It's just people are so willing to be like, you know what? It's Bama. Oklahoma is the winner in this one. And I'm just like, man, like Bama still is the standard. It didn't disappear regardless of how they've been playing. Like people play them as the Super Bowl. And if you ask Oklahoma, any player, anybody behind the scenes, they look at Alabama as a Super Bowl,
Yeah, but you made a good point. It is different, man. A different era where it's not, there used to be we want Bama chance, and people really didn't mean it. Everybody still had that fear factor. It's a little bit different now. And I listen. I think sometimes people kind of just automatically assume like, oh, it's because we're Alabama. And I'll be honest, I never really thought of it like that until recently. I'm like, maybe there is a little truth to it. Maybe there really is, in fact, some real Bama fatigue. It does kind of feel like that. People are kind of just like, But on the flip side, I do understand, we haven't played great football, and there is, cause of concern or some doubt, I would say. But I don't know. I do know the answer to all these questions that are going on and have been going on last 2 weeks at this point will be answered this evening, 7 p.m. Central kick time, man. I think it's going to be a great game. I'm excited. I'm fired up for it. And I'm ready to see what goes down. Listen, win or lose, man, I just hope it's a good football game. Obviously, I really want us to win the football game, but I'll be honest. I think my biggest question mark right now is I just don't know what version of this Alabama football team we're going to see. And I think a lot rides on that. I think the result really is going to depend on how we show up, because when I look at these two football teams and I look at last matchup, I mean, I see that we had some success moving the football on these guys, even with the really good defense. We had a better running game than usual against these guys, which they're known for stopping the run and having a really good front seven. And what's interesting was they weren't really known, like Rodney said, to force all these turnovers defensively, but they came up with 3. You know what I mean? So there's so many factors that I look at that could play a role. I just, without Oklahoma having the offense to put up a lot of points, they're relying heavily on their defense. And to me, it's like this, Chase. I think one of the biggest, turnover battle, which everybody's already talking about it, but just think about this. Like, really, I think if Oklahoma wants to win the game, they've got to have big plays / turnovers that helps their offense out tremendously. Like, they need help with field position. It's not even just about like a pick six or something like that. It's really the field position battle, which we've been bad at, and they had a hell of a advantage with that in this last matchup. And if you think about it, Oklahoma, if they can have success bringing pressure like they did last time, not just with the sacks or the interception, or excuse me, not well, yes, with the sacks, but not with the fumbles and interceptions only, but even sacks to end drives, right? Or to force short field position. Say we're backed up, then we can't get out of there, then we give them better field. Like, those little details, I think, really will show up in this game. And shout out to Clint again, Clint Lamb, who joins us every Tuesday. I saw that he just tweeted this. I think it was it today? It might have been yesterday. I'm sorry. But he was comparing the last 10, I guess, touchdown drives for both of these teams in their last SEC games. And if you look at Oklahoma's, and I can share this on the screen real quick, it's an interesting stat. And this just goes to show you the field position battle, how important it is. You look at Oklahoma, 5 plays, 23 yards, 2 plays, 31 yards, 5 plays, 22 yards, 3 plays, 90 yards, 7 plays, 35 yards. But you see the theme, and it goes on. All of them, like, they've had such short field to work with, probably a lot. And again, I don't know exactly the factors that led to these things, but if I had to guess, right, their defense probably put them in a good position. They benefit from that, and they have to have that. This Oklahoma offense is not built to be marching down the field 70+ yards and scoring a bunch of points. Now, they do have a hell of a kicker, right, who won the award for the nation's best kicker. So he's got range. We know that, and he's accurate as hell. So that also helps him out. But still, the short field position is huge. That's something to pay attention to in this football game. And that can be, attributed to, turnovers, things like that. We'll have to see. So we'll talk a little bit more about some of these keys in a minute. We need to take a time out to stay on schedule. Again, big thanks for Chase righting the ship. Again, some tech difficulties this morning, but we're squared away and we're rolling, and that's all that matters, man. Right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Quick timeout. We'll come back. We'll keep talking about this matchup, keep giving you guys our keys, our thoughts, our predictions, all that good stuff. Plus, we'll listen to some of these outside opinions, man, and just brace for them, because there's going to be some I wouldn't say Bama hate, but definitely a lot of Oklahoma love. But just want to hear those thoughts. And remember, at the top of the hour, we'll get Reagan starting her smoking hot picks from R&R Cigars, and keep on rolling right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC.
At Tuscaloosa Mazda, they are expanding their showroom to serve.
By the way, this is the Bama side of things. 72 yards, 78 yards, 75 yards, 27 yards, 65, 64, 64, 75, 91. Just wanted to throw that up there because we've been talking about this whole field position battle recently. At least I feel like me and Gray have been talking about it the last couple of weeks. And shout out to Clint for going back and getting all these numbers. I mean, that just goes to show you, right? I mean, we're working with some long, some long field, man, a lot of grass. And so that field position battle, man, it's a big deal. Who we got in here? Let's go back. I feel like I forgot I skipped over that because we had to jump right into it, man. Sorry about the wait, guys. I apologize. Jake, what's up? Game day. Let's go. Let's effing go. LFG. Hit the like button on your way in. Score prediction 24-17. All right. 24-17 for Jake. Mike, what's up? Happy playoffs. Shikenji, what's up? Noop, what's going on? Travelpreneur Kimberly, what's up? Dale Tide, that's right. That's right, Dwight. I got the hat. I gotta help Superfly get him one. I gotta go back and find the person I use, man. I didn't forget about that though. Now I got you on Twitter, Superfly, so I'll send you the link on X. I always say Twitter X. Bama, what's up? Arthur, what's going on? Chat, man, what's up? Is that Ron? What's up? The way the national media feels, we shouldn't even show up for the game. Yeah, a lot of people really leaning Oklahoma. And listen, I mean, I get it, man. You got to go to Oklahoma. I feel like if it was at Bryant-Denny Stadium and it was this rematch, I think people definitely would lean a bit more Alabama in this situation, even with how we've looked the last few weeks. But with you going on the road and just knowing the challenges that come with that, I mean, I get it. I mean, I see I see what they're seeing, right? I just don't. Part of me is just like, man, and maybe it's just because I'm, I got some Bama bias, but I don't know, man. I mean, Kalen DeBoer typically shows up for these bigger games outside of the SEC championship game, but fighting injury bug, fighting a number of different things. I feel like just kind of going on, and I don't know, man. I just feel like with a couple weeks to prepare, I got a little sense of confidence, but maybe maybe I should be that confident. But now, when I say that confident, I'll be honest with you, I think it's going to be a damn close game. Wouldn't be shocked if Oklahoma wins. I just mean I have a confidence that we return to form, I guess. Oski Sooner? Is that how you pronounce that? Game day, that's right. Wayne, it's not hard to beat a team 2 times. Oklahoma beat Bama last year and this year. Well, Wayne, I don't think you're familiar with the phrase. When they say beat a team twice, it's relatively the same year. It's just interesting because he comes in every day now just to troll. People that do that, man, I don't understand. It's kind of like, to me, it's like a waste of time, bro. Like, obviously, if you enjoy content and stuff, yeah, you'll be here every day. I get that. But like, if your sole purpose is to like show up just to quote unquote troll, and you're over the age of 15 or 16 years old, if that's what you do with your life, man, I definitely pray for you, brother. I mean, you're welcome to do whatever you like. I mean, you're welcome here to even hang out here and do whatever you do, please. But brother, I hope please tell me you're just like some kid playing around, brother. I hope you're not a grown adult. That would be very, very unfortunate. And welcome back into this Thursday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's art sport experts. I forgot to show that last part, or at least talk about it real quick while we were still on air. Basically, it was just the other side of things in terms of that field position stat from Clint over at Cover Crimson. Again, they do great work, man. Check him and all his workout. Alabama's, drives were all 65 plus yards. So just going back to show you how important the field position battle is. And how do you change that? How do you affect that? Well, I mean, it could be a number of things. Number one, special teams, right? In terms of punt coverage, punts themselves, those are big. Or even any type of kick coverage, even kickoff return is a big deal too, right? You go back in the Georgia game where you had a block punt, set them up for a short field. They had at least one, maybe two, solid returns. So our punt coverage has to be better. Those little details matter. So and turnovers, we all know those things. So you got to clean up as much as you can. And you can't give teams short fields because you see what happens, man. They're going to capitalize, especially a team like Oklahoma that has a kicker that good, man. You give them good field position, man, they're almost guaranteed 3 points each time. And they're okay with that. They're just going to keep chomping at the bit. I mean, again, that's not a very explosive offense. They're not expecting to put up a whole bunch of points. In terms of some of the narratives going around, Chase, let's start here. We got Joel Klatt. He's the common voice in college football. Let's hear what he thinks about this matchup as number 9 Alabama travels to number 8 Oklahoma this evening.
The biggest question for me, and I think it's the question of the entire game, is can Oklahoma score? Listen, Bama's been dealing with a lot. I think that they've got some distractions. There's some question about how their focus is going to be. The last time we saw them on the field, Georgia was beating them down pretty handily. Then you've got all of the talk about what Ty Simpson is going to do with his future. And obviously, Kalen DeBoer, his name being thrown around. He's had to make comments and statements about his commitment to Alabama. I've always said on this program, and I think you guys have long heard me say this, the quickest way to be defeated is to be distracted. So the distraction meter for Alabama, is it going to play a part in this game? We don't know. Now, Alabama has not looked great in the last month, in particular, Ty Simpson throwing the football. In the last 4 games, he's been under 60%, just over 200 yards per game, and he's only thrown 5 touchdowns. That's not going to cut it. This defense for Oklahoma is a relentless, attack-oriented style of defense. This one being in Norman is a big deal. I don't think that we, as like a college football consumer, an enjoyer. I don't know if we truly understand in its infancy of just a 12-team playoff what home playoff games actually mean. Oklahoma is elite 2 of the 3 areas of their team. OU really struggles on offense. That's the only thing in this game that gives me a lot of concern for Oklahoma. Ever since John Mateer had that hand injury, he had the procedure on his hand, he just hasn't been the same. So in the back half of the year, what it's been largely for OU on the offensive side is short fields, turnovers, creating points. It's also been a lot of explosive plays, but very little driving methodically down the field. I'm actually going to go OU. I think OU wins this one outright, 20-17. They find a way to get to 20 points. Sandell hits a couple of long ones. They get a couple of turnovers, and they win it very similarly to the one that they won in Tuscaloosa.
So that was Joel Klatt giving his thoughts there. As you guys heard him, he went with Oklahoma. But I will say, if you listen to his reasons, to be fair, special teams wise, I would definitely give Oklahoma the edge. Defensively, I think you got 2 great defenses. I think that's almost a wash, personally. Even though, we know how they played last time we played each other. Our defense played well as well, but they forced turnovers, and that really led to the reason that they won the football game. And he basically said the same thing I've been saying. The biggest question mark for those guys is, their inability to really have that spark offensively and score a bunch of points. So that is kind of interesting. But Chase, what are your thoughts, man? So we got one clip there. Joel Klatt going with Oklahoma. He listed his reasons. What do you think about that, Chase?
I think they're pretty valid. The distraction part, I don't really see that because what can they be distracted by? I understand OU is on the precipice of possibly beating Bama, 3 times in a row, but I feel like Oklahoma has more distractions than Bama, in my opinion. You think about,
Really?
Bama knows what's in front of them, right? It's either win or go home. Everybody's already trying to get Kalen DeBoer to go to Michigan, down in Ann Arbor, which will never happen. I don't know why people keep fueling that station. Cut it out. But I feel like with Oklahoma, right, I feel like they have more to lose in this case because, one, offensively, you're right. When they played Bama back, I think in November, October, they didn't really do much on offense. It was more of just mistakes on offense for Bama. If you eliminate that, I feel like Bama would have scored a lot more, and you eliminate field position.
Take away their points too.
Yeah. So, it's just I feel like Oklahoma, they're going to have to do a little bit more than what they did down in Tuscaloosa, or it's going to be a lot of differences you'll see in comparison to the game you saw earlier and for tonight. So I disagree with Joel in a little bit. I can see his prediction, but I don't feel like there's distractions for Bama right now.
That's an interesting take, Chase. I will say that. I'll say this. I do think Alabama definitely has more distractions than they do, unless I'm missing some on there. Because I'm just not aware of what distractions they might have in terms of. Because I haven't heard many rumors about anything coaching wise, or even with like their players. I think they did have one guy enter the portal maybe earlier in the week, but I would say Bama definitely probably has more distractions right now. But that said, I agree with you that I think that was a little bit of I won't call it a reach because, to be fair, most of the time, yes, that could have an effect on a football team if there's a lot of noise going on. I'm just going to be honest with you. Let me be careful. I can't say too much. There are some distractions that this team dealt with last time we played Oklahoma. I guess it's not really funny. I shouldn't laugh at that. But just know, there were some distractions and some things going on internally that definitely probably created some noise. Not going to dive into that. If you've heard about that, you probably already know. That said, I do think that is true that distractions can obviously creep in. But I just feel like with this team, I agree with Kalen DeBoer on this one, where he's come out and said, this team has had to face distractions pretty much all season long. If you go back to the Florida State game, we had literally the whole world talking about how bad Alabama is, how embarrassing Alabama was against Florida State. Everybody questioned, not even just questioning if they're a good football team, but basically calling them soft, questioning their physicality. It was pretty bad. And I thought they responded about as good as you could. That said, I just don't know if it really is that big of a deal in this game. The only reason I say that is even when the rumors were going on before Kalen DeBoer came out and shot him down, if you go back and listen to like those player interviews, there was not even at least in my interpretation, I didn't take it as anybody was concerned or focused on that. It seemed like everybody was just going about their day to day as if everything was normal. So, I agree with you that I think he was probably a little bit of reach on there, but I do agree with them that Oklahoma special teams very good, defense very good. It's just a matter of how many points can they get on the board, and if their defense isn't able to help them out the same way they helped them out in the first time. Personally, I don't think they're able to put enough points on the board to win the game without the help of their defense. Special teams, I mean, they're good for some field goals, but can they get those same turnovers? The other question I have, Chase, is on our end. We talk about, yes, we were able to have success moving the football. Well, that was at home. Now we have the challenges of playing on the road. Those are two questions that I'm looking for in terms of this rematch. Again, these teams just faced about a month ago. Can Alabama find a way to recreate the success they had at moving the football on this defense with the new challenges that they face on the road? And can Oklahoma, on their side of things, find a way to recreate the success that they had turning over the football, given their offense short field and more scoring opportunities? Those are two things, Chase, that I think that could really come to play in this football game and that I'm definitely going to be looking out for. All right, let's hit a timeout to stay on schedule. When we come back, we'll keep on rolling again. Top of the hour, we got Reagan Starner with his smoking hot picks. We'll get his thoughts and predictions on this one. We'll talk about some other matchups going on this weekend as well. We'll keep on rolling right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC. Let's see. Scroll back up. Kimberly's got a score prediction. Wait, 30-20 or 30-10? I saw you put both, Kimberly. Which one are you going with? Let me scroll back up. Sorry, guys. We got a bunch of comments, man. A lot of activity, man. If you guys are just joining, man, welcome in. If you haven't already, man, on your way in, just hit that like button. That always helps us out. Or if you're watch it, maybe we do have the I didn't believe it. We might really have some lurkers, man, because sometimes when I say that, we drop, but we didn't drop yet. So I guess we don't. But yeah, if you got, we had one drop. So we had one lurker. Had a few. Damn, had about 5. So we did have some lurkers. Maybe whoever said that, they might have actually been onto something. He said, nah, those are people just lurking. I mean, that's fine. If you're going to lurk, just hit that like button. It always helps us out. It doesn't hurt nobody. It's free. Just helps the channel out. Let's see what comments we got on here. I need the cute stuff to stop. 2nd and 3 is not a passing down. Q06, where you been at, dog? Hadn't heard from you in a minute, man. I wonder if Mbakwe has bad hands. He seems like he would be the type of athlete to use in punt return game. I think, they have in the past. They haven't used him as much. They've had Cole Adams, but he's reliable. Yeah, he is. He definitely is. Supposed to be high winds in Norman tonight. Going to be hard to throw long passes if you can't run the ball. Yeah, I actually, I saw that too about the winds. So that will be kind of interesting to keep up with. Carson's got 28-20. Superfly says, I like to be honest. I like hearing everyone picking Oklahoma. I feel like all that doubt will give this team the fire on the top. Give that fire on top of the fire they already had to get back. Get back. Sorry, I can't read today, Superfly. It's on me, man. Looks like Oklahoma has a lot of secondary guys not playing. I think it was a couple on their injury report. Matter of fact, here's Wyatt's tweet. They've got 3 DBs out. Yeah, I think 15 might be, for some reason, I feel like somebody entered the portal, and I feel like it might have been him. 9 and 21. I don't know where let me see. I guess we could pull up their depth chart. Chase, can you still hear me all right? I just want to make sure because I got some Thing saying it lost connection to the screen share audio. I'm just, man, this whole tech thing is killing me today. Why is Joel Klatt stuck on the screen? Well, we were playing his audio, if that's what you're referring to, Judy. And welcome back into this Free for All Friday edition, game day Friday edition of the Miller's Edge, tied 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Getting you guys ready for the first round playoff matchup tonight, Oklahoma, Alabama, 7 p.m. Central Time kick. All right, so here's the Thursday latest update for the injury report. Both tight ends, Cuevas and Danny Lewis, listed as probable. So expecting them to go. Plus, Coach DeBoer seemed pretty confident that they'll be out there. I think it's more of a matter of just how healthy those guys will be. Notice, again, Jam Miller nowhere to be found on the injury report. So good news that he's definitely good to go. It's a similar type deal, man. Just seeing him kind of work in practice. I just don't know how good he is in terms of, his health, right? He'll be out there, but is it going to be the Jam we saw come to life against Auburn? Because if it's that Jam, man, I'm really confident that we can find a way to get something going again on the ground like we did the last time we played these guys. But we'll have to see, right? But those guys definitely will be big because we do need to find a way to run the football again. Do not want to be one-dimensional, especially in this matchup. I repeat, you do not want to be one-dimensional going against an Oklahoma defense with the pressures, the simulated pressures, all the blitzes that they like to run, and they execute them at a very high rate, right? It's not like they're just doing it to do it. They're very effective. And, again, if you go back and watch the pick six, the sacks, and those critical moments that we had, man, all were caused. I mean, I know we like to say we made a mistake, which yes, you can say it's a mistake on our end, but got to give credit where credit is due, man. They are definitely doing their part in forcing those things on their end. Like Q06 mentioned, it does look like they have 3 DBs out. I'm not too sure. Wait, I have their depth chart pulled up. So 9, 15, and 21. Let's see if any of those guys were true starters. So 15 is the backup at the cheat position, the guy we talked about yesterday, that 6'5", 240-pound freak athlete that they have that basically plays like a nickel. Let's see, 21. I don't even see him on the depth chart, man. Unless I'm just – oh, wait, no, it looks like he's so they have him as a fourth string guy. And then what was the last one? Let me pull it back up. Number 9. 9. Yeah, I don't really even see him either unless I'm just missing. Oh, wait, no. Actually, he looks like he's a starting right corner. So looks like they do have at least one starter that's out. Let's see. We got a couple questions we can get to. Superfly said, what's up with their centers? He's still questionable. 69. Let's pull up their depth chart. I mean, that's who they've got there from last night. So if that's that is their starting center. Looks like he is Superfly. He's doubtful. So could see a backup in that spot. Georgia had a backup at that spot at center in the SEC championship game and seemed to be okay for those guys. So we'll have to see how that could potentially affect Oklahoma. All right. I have another clip I want to get to, but we only got, 3 minutes right here before we get to Reagan. I guess, you know what? We could just run it real quick. No, let's wait. I'm going to wait to run it. That way we can respond to it. But it's another take this time from ESPN this morning, giving their thoughts on it. We just heard from Joel Klatt. Just want to get some more national, mouths on here. Get some rap poison going, maybe. I guess we can just roll with that. Let's see some other predictions. We got Q06, 23-16 win. Very interesting score there. You got another 24-17. Daniel Hill had 60 yards rushing on 15 carries. Run the damn ball. Hopefully we do get back to running the football, man. Definitely been a missing factor for this offense. We got a question from Taylor. He says, do you think DeBoer makes in-game adjustments? Seems like he's a let-it-ride type of guy. I'll say this. He definitely delegates the responsibility to his coordinator. So a lot of what's going on offensively is really on behalf of Ryan Grubb. I'm sure Kalen DeBoer has all the veto power, the override power being the head coach. But in terms of, kind of the flow of things and who's really kind of commanding things, typically it's going to be the coordinators, Ryan Grubb offensively and Kane Womack defensively. That said, do I feel like we make in-game adjustments? there definitely felt like there was a lack of them the last few games. I mean, even just looking at Georgia, I just feel like we didn't really adjust great to what they were doing. So I see where that question is going, and I feel like I agree that yes, it does seem like it's kind of like, hey, this is what we prepped, this is our game plan, we're just going to stick with it. Similar to what I felt like we were doing last year defensively, not even what I felt, is that we were doing that a lot last year, right? We weren't adjusting much defensively. It was kind of like, hey, this is what we prepped in practice, this is our game plan, and we're just going to stick with it. And I feel like now that we've made a lot more adjustments defensively, it's definitely benefited us a lot. I feel like maybe we need to see that same kind of, shift happen offensively. Because I think, look, we're at a point where we need something going. So we got to figure out something, and whether that's adjustments, getting our playmakers of football in different, varieties of fashion, whatever the case may be. I know Ryan Grubb said, hey, I've pretty much tried all these different things to kind of get that rhythm, try to get the running game going, but keep trying, brother, because you got to figure something out at some point. But we have hit the top of the hour break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Reagan Starner of R&R Cigars. We'll keep talking about this matchup, Alabama-Oklahoma tonight. 7 p.m. Central Time is the kick. So it's right now approaching us, man, 7 hours away. So we'll keep getting you guys ready for that. But first, we'll hit this timeout. We'll talk with Reagan. We'll keep on rolling, and we'll take your calls. 205-342-9904 is the number. Right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Let's see. Yeah, he wasn't stuck on there. We finished that video and it just was paused. Y'all really don't like him. Y'all said, hey, get Joel Klatt off the screen. We don't want to look at him anymore. Man, I wanted to get to that ESPN clip before we went to Reagan real quick, but we'll jump back into it here in a minute. Let's see. Really going to come down to what kind of game Grubb is going to call. If we're stubborn, it's not going to work. Carson, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you, and I just feel like we've seen some stubborn game plans recently, bro. I feel like that's what we've seen, and that's just not what we need right now, man. Not what we need. In all seriousness, man, I mean, I really hope, man, we commit to the running game, get something going, and we just find some way. We need some explosives, man. I mean, even if it's just, I've talked about this. Me and Slade talked about this. I mean, you saw like go back and watch that game last or in the SEC championship game, man. Like you get Ryan Williams the ball and you see what's happening with the ball in his hands, man. Forget the drops, man. You got to get over that, man. Stop overthinking it. Just get him the football. Let him make plays, bro. If Grubb's on the sideline and said the booth, we're cooked. I don't know which direction he's going to go this game. Let's see. OU came in physically attacking the ball last time. They were very rough on our finesse team. Yeah, that's why I keep saying, man, like they definitely contributed to those turnovers. It's like a fluke, man. I mean, they're punching at the football, they're running pressures and blitzes, and they're executing it at a high rate. We pulled up the tape. Was it yesterday? I can pull it back up. Hold on one second. Yeah, let me pull that up real quick to show you guys. All right, we got Smitty on the phone lines. We'll get to him. Pin and pull runs, line up quick, stop, condense in every formation, tight end, easy access, running back screens. Take what they give. Take what they give, man. I'm heavy on the take what they give part. When we were breaking down the tape the other day, you saw so many opportunities, man. Just taking what the defense gives you, bro. Like, just take what the defense gives you. I'll pull it back up. Now we got Reagan on here. Let's go to second quarter. We watched the first quarter. I gotta be careful with this, man. My whole setup's acting dumb. If I touch like one thing, man, my mic starts acting funny. My internet was acting bad earlier. I swear, man, maybe some Oklahoma fans hacked the system here. I don't know. I don't know, but we'll keep rolling. I mean, like great design here, right? I mean, you got Stumblerooski, you got the delay wheel by 81, right? Coming from the opposite side. I mean, again, great design. But here's my thing: like, but can we get consistent? You know what I mean? Like non-gimmick play calls that are back to being successful. I just don't want to. I'm tired of kind of feeling like we're reliant on these types. Barely touched it that time. The video attack. Yeah, Carson. I saw that video, man. That's why. But did you see the one we posted literally the day before? Deshaun Hand caught a pick off the same thing. I'll put it up here in a second. That's why, again, like, no disrespect to people, man. Like, again, I understand it. People, want to just post stuff and get engagement. But I'm like, dude, if you're gonna be like, oh, Tim Keenan's dropping in coverage, and you're trying to intentionally get the people that don't understand that that's a very normal thing to start getting them riled up, like, oh, what is Kane Womack doing? When really the whole NFL does it, and there's picks like probably every other week of a big guy getting a pick. I mean, it's people just man, kill me.
Edge on Tide 100.9.
Yeah, it just people just telling themselves that they just don't know football when they post stuff like that. And welcome back into this Thursday edition of the Miller's Edge. Todd 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts, man. Sorry. I have to be so sensitive right now. It's like a little mine I have with my setup. I touch one thing, man, the whole thing just kind of cuts in and out. So, all right, we're just going to get through today and we'll get it all corrected. But without further ado, let's keep on rolling. We got our buddy Reagan Starn of R&R Cigars up next here on the phone lines, talking some football, talking this game. We'll definitely get his smoking hot picks. Reagan, man, good talking to you. How's everything been?
Hey, man, I'm, Cigar Claus is getting ready for all the ho-ho-hos of Christmas.
I bet you are, Reagan. I bet you are. Y'all doing anything for the game tonight, like a watch party? Or, I mean, I know everybody's always open for that, but y'all planning on some big stuff tonight?
Yeah, we've got big. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, we're doing a watch party. We'll have the $5 joyless murder balls and $5 red elephants.
Nice.
So we'll be doing those, and then I don't know. Is it supposed to be cold today, or is it like? Yeah, we'll probably have we'll have, and I think the upstairs will be open. So yeah, it'll be I wish it was the weather like yesterday. But yeah, we'll have the upstairs open. We'll have all of the drink specials, and if the Tide win today, there'll be a margin of victory discount if you watch the game at R&R. So however much Alabama wins by, that's how much you'll get off on your cigars.
Dang, that's a pretty cool deal, man. So hopefully we can blow them out.
Yeah, a blowout would be cool. Yeah,
that would definitely be cool. So you heard Reagan. So you guys go watch the game there. You get a discount by the margin of victory. So if we win by 21 points, well, that'd be a 21% discount on your cigar. So that's cool, man. Very creative, man. I like that. And tell me real quick, you said Joyless Murder Ball. That's the name of the drink. What does that consist of? That's quite the name. I mean, we've heard it with football, but how does that carry over to the cocktail?
So the Joyless Murder Ball is something I came up with a while ago, but it's basically bourbon and lemonade and sweet tea. So it's bourbon and an Arnold Palmer.
Yeah, I was about to say, so bourbon and Arnold Palmer. Damn. Listen, I don't drink,
Yeah.
but that actually sounds really, really good. So if you guys haven't tried that, man, go try it and tell me how it is, because that definitely sounds good, man. Bourbon and Arnold
Yeah,
Palmer.
it's honestly, yeah, it's one of our most popular. It's one of our most popular cocktails.
Yeah, I can imagine so. It sounds great, even from me. That again, I mean, I used to drink, but I don't, and that definitely sounds good. But somebody in our chat, Reagan, by the way, he said, "Okay, that's great that there's a discount for the margin of victory." But he said, "However, if we lose hypothetically, which we don't, that's not on the plans, but is there an upcharge?" So
No,
if we
no, that
if we lose by
no,
10,
that would be a good risk reward thing. But no, no, but what you could, what here's another deal. Just and we'll do it just for your listeners. But
Mhm.
if you buy a box of cigars today before the game starts, if you buy a box of cigars before the game starts today, you can make a prediction on who you think will win the national championship of any of the teams in the college football playoff. Buy a box of cigars today, and then you say, "Yeah, I want Alabama. I think Alabama's going to win the national championship." If your team wins the national championship, I'll give you a free box of cigars.
Okay.
The same one that you purchased, not like you don't get to purchase the cheapest thing and say, "I want a free box of your most expensive cigars." But you
Fair.
buy a box of cigars, you get the same box if your bet hits. This is about the only way we can do sports betting in the state.
Hey, I mean, that's fun. Well, it makes it fun. And so you heard the man. You heard Reagan. He said if you buy a box of cigars
Yeah.
today, you say, "Hey, I listened to the Miller's Edge. I heard your custom
Yeah.
promotion, and this is my team. I'm picking to win the national championship. If they win, you double up. You win yourself another box." So I like that. So all our listeners, Tide, YouTube, Facebook, all that, man, go check Reagan out at R&R Cigars, and go tell them who you got winning the championship, and hopefully you guys get it right to double up. Speaking of the championship, Reagan, you got the first round of the playoffs taking place today. We all know Alabama taking on Oklahoma. It's a rematch. We'll get to that game here in a second, but I want to get your picks on a couple other matchups that we have slated for this weekend for the first round before we get to the big one. We'll start here, Reagan, because I don't even know if I even want to talk about the no disrespect. I know some people got upset with Coach Saban comparing the group of 5 teams like AAA, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe they can prove us wrong. We'll start with Miami, Texas A&M. Miami, a team that some people felt shouldn't have jumped Notre Dame, shouldn't have been in. Others, were cool with it. I think they're a talented roster. We'll see what our guy Cristobal can make happen as he travels to Texas A&M College Station and faces the Aggies, Reagan. That one, it's a tight one. Texas A&M's favored by 3 in this in this game. Reagan, how do you see that playing out?
Yeah, these are like these games tomorrow might be ugly. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. Like
the group of
Oregon,
5 ones you're referring to?
Yeah, I mean, Nick Saban might have a point about not allowing group of 5 teams in. Even ACC teams. Look, man. A&M and Miami. Thank goodness for both of these teams, honestly, this year, because if it wasn't for them, we'd be watching Notre Dame play again. So really grateful that these 2 teams are the 2 teams that beat Notre Dame, which caused one of the greatest crash outs I've ever seen in college football.
Oh God, Reagan, come on, Reagan, come on, too soon, man.
No, I mean those Notre Dame fans crashed out like nobody I've ever seen. Didn't even wait for the ink to dry before they said we're taking our ball and we're going home. Join a conference if you want in the playoff. Join a conference. I'm sorry, everybody else is in the conference, and Notre Dame still thinks they're special. They're not. Long story short, I'm going to go with A&M in this one.
It's tradition. Isn't like the whole independent thing is part of their story? I don't know.
It's 2025. Nobody cares about Rudy anymore. Go give me A&M.
Oh man. Well, we'll see. I'm definitely leaning A&M in this game, but part of me is kind of like, man, I want Cristobal to kind of get over that hump, man. I mean, he's been doing a good job at Miami, and I love Cristobal. I mean, listen, you're talking about a nut, man, and in a good way. I mean, dude, I don't know if he did like Muay Thai or something. He always was like making like fight references or something, but just like the way he just goes about things, he's a very interesting dude, but a great football coach, man. So I'm rooting for him, but I'm kind of like, yeah, I just don't know if I see him beating A&M in College Station, but we'll see, man. We'll see what he can pull out. All right, there's no point in really even asking your picks on these unless you want to just say, do the point thing. I mean, Tulane, Ole Miss, that's another rematch. Right now, Ole Miss, is favored by 17.5. You got James Madison traveling to Eugene, Oregon. Oregon's favored by 20.5. Do you even want to call the points on that, Reagan, or you want to skip over that?
I think they're both blowouts. I give, I love Pete Golding. Pete's my guy. And I just don't see James Madison doing very well over in Eugene, Oregon.
Yeah. So you don't think either one of those games is a little bit closer than what the spread says? You think anybody makes it maybe, I don't know, one score type game? If anybody did, I could maybe see Tulane, maybe.
Didn't Ole Miss beat them like 50-7?
I don't remember the exact score, but they definitely beat them by. I mean, I think it was at least 20, if I remember.
Yeah, I mean, I think they spanked them pretty good. They beat them 45-10.
Yeah. So
yeah. So
what are we doing here? Similar. Yeah, probably similar. Let's talk about the big one. Yeah, trust me, I'm with you, man. Let's talk about the big one, Reagan. We got Oklahoma. They'll be hosting Alabama in Norman, Oklahoma this evening. A lot of people were concerned about the weather. I think initially there were some thoughts it could be extremely cold. Hey, maybe some snow. They had some, I think, just as recent as a couple weeks ago. But it actually seems to be decent. I think it's probably similar to what we've got around here. Probably, upper 40s, lower 50s type deal. But there is going to be some strong winds, which could make it interesting. I guess maybe the passing game could have some, some bit of an effect. Or maybe it'll affect their kicking game. I'm not, I guess too high on ours or expect us to be taking some crazy field goals anyway. But their kicker is, a big piece of that. We'll pay attention to. But anyway, Alabama right now, Reagan. Oklahoma's only favored by 1.5. But if you listen to some of these pundits in the national media, a lot of people are heavily leaning Oklahoma, in my opinion, at least from what I've heard. How do you see this going, Reagan? They say it's tough to beat a team twice in one season. We found that out against Georgia, but it doesn't seem like people are keeping that same energy with us traveling to Norman, Oklahoma. Do you think the Alabama Crimson Tide, Reagan, in year 2 under Kalen DeBoer can get over that hump and can find a way to leave these doubters speechless and get their first playoff win under Kalen DeBoer?
Yeah. So, I've been asking for a while, like, who's our rival? And it's actually kind of turning out to be Oklahoma, I guess. But, it's been weird, right? Like Oklahoma, who would have thought? It's supposed to be cold. I don't like cold. I'm a warm weather guy.
Absolutely.
I like a beach, I don't like being cold in the mountains. I think that's weird. I just think that's weird. I don't understand people that are like, I want to be cold in the mountains. Like, I'd rather be hot at the beach.
Fair.
But it's just such a weird. Oklahoma to me is just such a weird team. And that was just such a weird game when we played them last time. It was just honestly just such a weird game. Alabama, I think Alabama wins today. And I know that a lot of people have been, all about, all on Ty. They love to hate on Ty. His wide receivers really need to step up today. I can't really think of a play all season where I'm like, man, a wide receiver really stepped up and made a play for their quarterback. They need to step up and make some plays for their quarterback today. O-line needs to block. I'm not worried about the defense. I mean, I think this defense is gonna give Oklahoma fits again. And but I really want to see Alabama score 30. I think Alabama's got to score. I think Alabama's got to score 30. Which is something that I think they've only done 2 times this year. So I don't care if they run the ball to score 30. I don't care if they have to throw it 80 times to score 30. But I think they need to score 30 to win today. I think they do win today, and I think it's like 27-17. But don't get me wrong. This Alabama team, they can't. I think they can't. I think they're one of the best. I think they're obviously one of the best, 12 teams. But I think they're one of the top teams in the country when they play their game right. And unfortunately, it's come down to Ty. I don't know how. I don't know what Ty has to do a lot of times because I see a lot of balls that he hits these receivers in the hands. He hits them in the chest. And it's just like, hey, there's a touchdown. Oh, just kidding. So, I'd like to be able to run the ball better. Obviously, you control the game a little better with running the ball, but it's not like you can't win by just throwing it. Ty's got to use his legs some. But I think the biggest thing in this game is our wide receivers. Our wide receivers, when it used to be with those 4, Smitty, Judy, Ruggs, Waddle, and Mechie, Jamison, Williams. The catch radiuses were insane, right? If you threw it, if you just it'd be like, oh, there goes Bryce. He just he's just chugging up. J-Mo's down there somewhere. Mechie's down there somewhere. Smitty's down there somewhere. In their catch radius, everything, they snatched it up. You don't get that same feeling from this wide receiver group,
Well, hold on, Ray. Well, let me ask you this though. I mean, but before the season started, everybody was telling us that this was the best receiver group and even potentially better than some of those rideout groups. And when I gave pushback on it by saying I just want to pump the brakes a little bit, I'm like, on paper and what I've seen from these guys, I definitely think it's the most talented group we've had in the last at least 2 years. But I'm like, y'all going back to some of these 2020, even 21. I'm like, hey, let's kind of slow down a little bit. So I'm like, can somebody at least say, hey, we're sorry, Christian and Corey. I see him in the chat. We said that. Maybe slow down a little bit. But I will say this. I think the potential is there for this group. Jeremy Bernard is, he's a good football player.
No doubt.
Super reliable.
No doubt.
Isaiah Horton.
Ryan Williams is as talented. Ryan Williams is as talented as they come.
Yeah.
I will give you that.
Yeah, and then listen, Horton has shown, he can be a factor. He's had multiple games with multiple touchdowns. And has shown he's, a different option out there wide. And look, I'll just say this. I agree with you. Yes, they have to play better. I just think there could also be some things coaching-wise in terms of the way we're calling plays to help those guys out a little bit. I think it's a group effort. They need to up their game 1,000%, which in turn will help Ty's game. He also needs to make some better throws. We got the tape pulled up right here. This one was that interception that he threw it against Oklahoma, not the pick six. The other one that luckily got called back. And I'll be honest, this one, I don't know what he was really looking at. It was kind of confusing. But then I also do think there's an aspect where the coaches can call things better, where everything doesn't feel like these long developing routes down the field. Let's just try to get the ball out quick. Let's get Ty some confidence and get him in a rhythm. Let's get our playmakers of football, let them make plays. You know what I mean? I think those things could also help. I think it's a group effort. Yeah. Everybody has to be better to find a way, like you mentioned. And when this offense does click, the way they clicked in the earlier part of the year, if we had that offense through week 2 through week 6, 7, whatever it was, that offense paired with the way this defense is playing right now, without a doubt could make a run and go compete to win a national championship in this year's playoffs. If we don't see a return to that offense, I'll just be honest with you, I just don't know how far this team can get. That's just me being completely honest.
Correct. In my opinion, the big difference is the biggest thing is I think their defense is good enough to keep them in a game with anybody. you know.
Sure.
And that's the saving grace of this team, and that's why I say this team is one of the best teams in the football, is because their defense can keep them in any game, you know. So and they're not going to give up a lot of points. And frankly, I think the Georgia scores, you know, very misleading, because, you know, lots of short fields, and the defense, I think, really did play well in that game, given a lot of the wild things that happened in that game.
Yeah. Yeah, and I hear what you're saying about the Georgia matchup. I mean, that's why I always say, don't just look at stats, don't just look at numbers, man. The tape tells everything. That's why we sit on this stream, right? We don't just, you know, talk on the radio. We bring it to the YouTube channel so we can pull up the tape. Like, we got it right now. And the tape does not lie, and it will tell you everything that you need to know and everything you need to correct and everything that you need to keep doing if you want to have success. And everything tells me Alabama needs to protect the football in this matchup, get better field position, and not give them such good field position. And we should have ourselves a chance in this game. So it sounds like you're picking Alabama, Reagan, to win and to cover.
Yeah, I said it a couple of days ago. If you're betting this one, this is if you're betting, not that you can do that in Alabama. Bet the spread and the money line, and take I think the over-under is 40.5.
Yeah,
I don't like messing with overs and unders, but if you're feeling really frisky, I would take the under on the 40.5.
And remember, guys, this is not betting advice. This is
not betting advice. If I was gambling, if I was gambling, I'd take Alabama and Alabama plus 1.5, Alabama money line, and I messed up. I would take the over.
Okay. Well, for all you guys that do that, again, not betting advice, but that's what Reagan would do.
Cigar clause. That's cigar clause line of the week.
There you go. From Reagan Starner himself over at R&R Cigars, the mansion right here in Tuscaloosa, 2703. Gary Fitzgerald, again, they will be, I'm not necessarily calling it a watch party, but you can call it something like that. Bunch of people heading on over there to watch the game. He said that the upstairs will probably be open up. They got TVs throughout. Have heaters outside too if you're on the porch, if I'm not mistaken. And they got a great time. And make sure you guys try that. What is it? Joyless Murder Ball. Try that for me, because again, I don't drink anymore, but it's an Arnold Palmer with bourbon, which makes me kind of want to come out of retirement and just take a sip and see how it tastes. And again, to be clear, everybody's probably like, "Oh, wait, do you have a drinking problem?" Absolutely, to the hell not. I just stopped drinking when I was playing professional football, and I stuck with it. So if you guys do drink, though, check that out for me. It does sound really good. I'm trying to stay on my streak, man. It's been like several years since I've had a sip of alcohol. So that being said, Reagan, I appreciate you joining there.
That's awesome. I'm happy for you. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, to be clear, again, it's not like it was like, oh man, Christian had a problem with drinking. No. I promise to God, I hardly drink anyway, but I just quit drinking, and then it was almost like I stopped drinking so long. I was like, man, I kind of want to stick with it. Like I feel better. And I mean, that was back in like 2020-ish. So, but then I've had like a beer since then. But like the last beer I had probably was 2022 or 2023. So yeah, it's been about 2 or 3 years. So anyway,
that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, but if you're at R&R Cigars, don't do that. Enjoy the drinks that they have. That's why they have them there for you guys. Drink responsibly.
And then you can meet Cigar Claus tomorrow.
What's it? Cigar what?
They can meet Cigar Claus tomorrow.
Cigar Claus?
Yeah, Cigar Claus.
Okay. Well, so there's a cigar clause. I wasn't even aware of that. So if you guys want, I was going to say bring your kids, but don't do that.
No, you shouldn't bring your kids. No, you shouldn't bring your kids.
Probably don't. Don't do that. Right. We'll save your kids for regular Santa Claus, but Cigar Claus will be hanging out there as well.
Yeah.
Ray and I.
Cigar Claus will be there.
Oh man, Reagan, always a pleasure having you out here. You always get a good laugh, man. I appreciate you, man, and everything you guys are doing over there. And again, our listeners, man, need a place to go watch a game. 2703 Gary Fitzgerald at R&R Cigars. They're doing it. They got the drinks, Joyless Murder Ball, all that good stuff, and the best humidor in the Southeast, the official cigar provider of Alabama football since 2014-15. It range right when I got here, which is really cool, man. Cool stat. Reagan, you have a great weekend, man. Hopefully we get this done.
All right,
We
real
can
tight.
keep on rolling. Yes, sir. Roll Tide. All right, guys, we got to hit a timeout. We come back. We keep on rolling. Don't forget to drop y'all's predictions. 205-342-9904 is the number to the program. We got Smitty on the lines. We'll go to him. We got this tape pulled up. We'll keep talking about our breakdowns, our thoughts, our keys, predictions, all that coming up right on the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC. Oh, that's what's up, man. We got a number of guys in here that said the same thing. Yeah, like I said, I promise it wasn't like, oh man, Chris needs to stop. No. I was just like, man, I'm just gonna cut out drinking because I mean, even in college, I hardly drank anyways. Really, you guys know what it was? It was really like in college, the only time I drank was like celebratory. Like we would anytime we like not anytime. I mean, we won every single regular season game my senior year. After every win, all the guys from the team, we'd go to one of the popular spots here, and we'd all just get a drink, hang out for a minute, then head to the house responsibly. We're not drinking and driving. Had Ubers, but yeah, I used to just get me like a Tito's and something, just something easy, just celebrate the win, and head to the house. Or if I was fishing or something, sometimes I'd crack a beer or two. But nah, that's cool. We got a couple people in there, so they also don't drink. Yeah, sometimes people are like, "Oh, why don't you drink, man?" I was like, "I don't know, just stop drinking. I feel a lot better, and I don't know, just don't have to worry about anxiety, man. Like it's make my stomach real queasy and stuff. Never was a big fan of it. If you guys haven't, man, we got 72 in here. If you don't mind, man, just hit that like button. I promise, I'm not trying to be annoying. It takes 2 seconds, just helps the channel out. Just helps push the algorithm. Helps more people find us. That way, more people can learn ball. Just like Carson was saying, man, we break down ball the way it should be broken down, man. We speak facts. We pull up tape, and we do all that good stuff. Since everybody loves tape, that's the new thing nowadays. Everybody loves watching tape being broken down. If you love that, hit that like button because that's what we do here on the show. And if you haven't, man, subscribe. That way you can keep up with it. But back to the tape because I wanted to talk about this play real quick. Something that's not really being talked about. We talk about the turnovers that showed up on the stat sheet, but guys, you had a fumble that also from Daniel Hill that ended up right before the pick six. It worked out in our favor. We ended up getting a first down off of it. So they forced more turnovers in the game that showed up. This was another one. I'll be honest. I didn't even really think this. Sorry, guys. I didn't even realize I was muted. My bad, guys. Damn, we're already back. I wanted to break that down real quick. And welcome back into this Friday edition, game day edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Might be the first time we've really said that, game day edition. We never really had a game day during the week, so it's pretty cool. Game day edition, 7 p.m. kick. Real quick before we go back to the phone lines, we're talking about, what needs to happen in this game. Talking about these keys, right? Protecting the football. How do you protect the football other than, high and tight, clinching the football, right? Having the right points of contact on the football. We know all that in terms of, right, not giving up fumbles, letting guys punch it out. That said, though, better decisions in this football game, knowing that this defense is going to throw a lot at you. They're going to bring pressure. They're going to throw different coverage. They're going to disguise really well. This is where Ty's got to be better in this football game. We know about the pick six, but no one's really talking about these other, decisions or, other issues that came up. I went back to this play. We already broke it down, so I'm not going to break it down again, but this was where we had Bernard on the angle route on the defensive end, right? Again, it comes down to not forcing things, taking what the defense gives you, right? If you got an angle route with Jeremy Bernard in the backfield, that's why you have him back there. You're creating a mismatch. Sensitive here on the system, so sorry, got cut out for a second. If you have that mismatch that you want, you got to take advantage of it, right? We end up trying to force it here to Isaiah Horton, ends up being incomplete, but you've got Bernard right there, right? I know it's first down. Take those yards, man. There's a good chance he ends up making a guy miss and falls into the end zone, right? You got to take advantage of that, and you see the frustration by Bernard. Let's move forward to where we were a second ago. So about 3 plays later, right? 2 plays later, whatever it is. It's third down now, right? Drop back to pass. They're playing man coverage with looks like at least one low hole defender right here. You got another guy that pops out. I think he's a defensive end. Again, it's something that they like to do, right? You see him popping out, just taking away some of those underneath routes. There's not much room to work here. Oklahoma's doing a good job taking away pretty much everything here. Ty tries to force this. There's a safety reading the whole thing, and you see what happens. Interception. Now, luckily, there's a PI by five. Five got handsy. Again, freak athlete, 6'5", 240, playing nickel, right? He got handsy. I think Lots kind of sold it pretty well, which I think helped us get that call, but still, we really wouldn't have mattered because that safety read the whole thing. We got saved right there, but again, another example of forcing things when you don't have to. If that didn't get called back, that would have been a guaranteed 3 points. Well, we would like to say guaranteed. I guess nothing's guaranteed with our special teams right now. What ended up being a pick, but luckily we got saved and ended up working out. So again, just want to show you guys examples from the last time we played these guys, the things that they do on defense. You can't try to force things. You got to take what they give you. Play smart football, because if you do that, Oklahoma, I just don't think their offense has enough to get the job done. And the last thing you want to do is go back and play them again and make the same mistakes of forcing things and giving them more than they need to be given, knowing what they're already trying to force on you. All right, let's go back to the phone lines, 205-342-904. We got Smitty up next. Smitty, welcome in. Smitty with us? Going once, going twice. I think Smitty. Oh, there you go. Smitty with us?
Yeah, Grandpa. I can hear you now.
Hey,
your button there.
No, listen, sorry, it might have been something on the system. I don't think we had you clicked over yet. We got you now though, Smitty. What's going on, brother?
Man, not too crazy nervous about this game though. But the one thing, like the last person was talking about the R&R, got his name, but the guy who runs the place.
Reagan, yeah.
It was something I was telling. Yeah, I was telling my dad. Our receiver, that's why I slowed down his comparisons to wideouts and stuff, because you got to put it on the field first, and that's a crazy expectation. Those guys, and I look at Devontae and Jalen Waddle, who weren't big guys, but they made contested catches and were physical. Because sometimes you got to make those contested catches. I know we love Ryan, but he doesn't make contested catches. Isaiah Horton looks the part, but he has to play to his side sometimes and make those physical contested catches too to be strong with the ball. Because we saw one play against Georgia. Yeah, it was a little behind him, but hey, you got to catch that. You got to bring it in. You're a big guy. And I think one key to this game is that these guys have to be strong with the ball in their hand. Quarterback, running back, wide receivers. Because these guys are going peanut punch the whole time. And this is where, I know sometimes the offense may get behind things at times. You may have a bad spell, but you can't try to fight for extra yards against a team that is trying to punch the ball out every time out. And I think that is something that this team, and I'll start with Ty down, is that, hey, you may find don't skip over the $5 on the street to reach in a sticker bush and grab the 20. Get the 5 first. You can't go wrong with a profit. It's more than what you came in with, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And like you talk about those plays, this is where I tell people that ain't Ryan Grubb's fault. And I think that force he did in his zone was in a clean pocket too. So we can't blame the offensive line either. Because I've always said, what are you doing when the pocket is clean, the plays are there? He has to take that profit. Like you said with Jeremy Bernard, that's a touchdown. And if that defender makes a play at defensive end, you shake his hand and say, that was a heck of a play.
Yep.
You have to take advantage. That's like me in the NBA. If I got Jokic against the smallest guy in the league, and I'm going to go ahead and pass to somebody else, I should be dumping that ball down to Jokic, right? You know?
True.
And I think with this team, field position is key. Alabama has lost the field position probably like a month straight now, you know, because going 10 plays every time is not good business because you do have a chance of a turnover, but also penalties that could set you back as well. And I think that is something they have to win that field position battle.
Yeah. Listen, the field position battle has been a major issue for us for a number of games now. And I think it kind of was looked over for a while. And it's crazy because Gray Robertson, you know, my partner over on the Crimson Tide Sports Network, he had brought it up weeks ago. And I remember when he first mentioned it, I was like, damn, yeah, because he had the stats for it. And I'm like, man, that I didn't even really pay attention to it. But then since that game that he brought it up way back when, like I started really like saying, hey, I wonder what these were, not just off of what I saw. And if you look at it, and that's why I'm glad Clint Lamb of Cover Crimson, he wrote it down. If you go back and show the differences over the last 10 touchdown drives, last 10 scoring drives, Oklahoma's field position, I mean, on average is probably, like their drives are maybe on average like 45, 50 yards versus ours like almost 70, right? And that's an issue. And that just goes to show you how big of a deal that is, especially in this matchup we saw. It was a huge deal. Even with Georgia, look at Georgia. I think 3 of their 4 touchdowns all were pretty much damn near on our side of the field. So we got to play better. Special teams, limit turnovers. You can't give teams that literally is just gifting the other team opportunities, and you can't have that. And I think it's almost not as important necessarily as turnovers themselves, but that's a pretty damn important stat that ends up being almost as I guess consequential in the long run.
Yeah, and I think because it's going to be a windy day out there at Norman, I'll talk you on the shoulder and say, hey, we just need you for extra points, Playboy. Ain't no point even putting hey, I'm sorry. I'm afraid of that guy when it's sunny and mild and there's no wind. I'm sorry. If it's a long one, you might have to go for it. So that's where game management comes in. Where, hey, maybe we just put ourselves in position to go for it on fourth because of that. And I think that's one thing Ty has struggled at times as well is management. Where it's like, hey, situational awareness. Where, hey, maybe I'm not going to get this first, but I know our coaches go for it on fourth down. Let's just try to get as close as possible. And I think that's where he may need to, I don't know if he's been unhealthy or what, but use those legs. Because I don't care if you get 3 yards out of it. Use your legs. And I think because our defense as well, our guys got to do their jobs as well. Don't worry about eye candy. If you're supposed to take the back, take the back. If the guy makes a good pass, as Nick Saban says, you can't defend a perfect pass. If they make a play, at least they make a play you doing your job because they put their pants on too. And I think it guards Satania because he's their guy. He's their big play guy. Do what Bill Belichick used to do with Tyreek Hill. We're going to dump him. And if somebody else beats us, God bless you and good game. You know?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes like with adjustments, my issue with adjustments sometimes is if it works, it's an adjustment. If it doesn't, they don't know what they're doing. Let's just be real. A lot of cases. And I think when people love to talk these plays, everybody keeps telling me all year Ty has the liberty to audible into a play. Well, shouldn't he be audible into some of these quick throws also? But that's where I think he may be big brain like Peyton Manning was in his peak, where he thought too much. He overthought it. And Ray Lewis and company said, man, we didn't pay attention to Omaha stuff till like 6 seconds left on the clock. That's where they're going to run the play.
Yeah.
That's why I think Ty I think maybe just like, I saw this game. I bet I told you Ohio State and Clemson. Ohio State got out of the huddle quickly and snapped the ball as fast as they could. So Brent Venables didn't know what they were in altogether and they could key in. Maybe not saying going no huddle, but going something like that. And, kind of switch it up a bit. And I think with this game here, it's going to be like Iowa State. It's going to be low scoring.
Me too.
I say 2017. And all this talk about the game on Taylor the boy's job is on the line. That's poppycock from the I'm sorry, I'm talking about the popcorn, right? I'm talking about the popcorn. That's just a mess, right? Because our biggest piece of irony is the fans are more reasonable than the national media and some of these foreign players.
Dang, hold on, Smitty, what are you saying? Hold on, Smitty.
I said some, not you.
No, that's what it is. No, you good.
Yeah, you're cool because you talk ball, right? But the thing is, nobody's job is on the line here. And I think that all season long, we say just 10-2, make the playoffs and see what happens. If you want to point a finger at somebody underachieving, let's talk about Steve Sarkisian at Texas. You have a great day, Christian.
Appreciate that, Smitty. Listen, I mean, we'll talk about the coaching stuff in a minute. We'll focus on the task at hand. Smitty's over here trying to talk his stuff. I love it. Listen, he's right. I mean, Smitty always he's gonna keep it real, Chase. That's one thing you can expect out of Smitty. Let's do this. Let's hit this timeout. Stay on schedule. When we come back, we'll start kind of wrapping up our thoughts on this matchup. Give our own predictions. I've already touched on a number of keys, but we still got the tape pulled up. We'll still break that down. I might even hang out a little bit after we finish up on the radio just to continue with the tape. That way we can go through because we're only in the second quarter on this game from last time. So maybe we'll hang out a little bit longer and keep on rolling right here on the Miller's Edge, Top 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Don't go anywhere. We're not done yet. Quick timeout. We'll be right back. All I hear is how Oklahoma can pressure the quarterback. There's been teams pressured the quarterback since the beginning of time, and offense figure out how to counteract it. Yeah, but Chuck, I will say, man, the problem is we haven't shown the best ability just yet of countering that and really taking advantage of it, right? Because here's the thing, like protection-wise, I feel like there's times, we've actually picked up pressure decently. This game, we gave up 2 sacks from our backs that were in protection, right? That's got to be better. But the offensive line wasn't bad. I mean, look, we've seen a number of clean pockets. I stopped this part here. Well, let me go back. I want to show you guys real quick. Talk about extensions of the running game and just taking what the defense gives you, right? We start off this drive initially by a big shot play here. We hit Ryan Williams down the field for an explosive play, right? Getting explosive, boom. What was that, like a 40-something yard pickup? More or less, I believe, right? Around that range. So, boom, we take a shot, we hit on it, cool. Speaking of the pocket, let's see what we get. Boom. Off the jump, we got 6-man protection, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep the tight end in there. Do a pretty solid job. Little bit of, pressure right there on Vandermark. Dude hits him with a spin move, but he picks him up. Clean pocket, right? Got this guy running the hoop. Deliver a strike. Ryan Williams picks a big play. Cool. But that's not the main point here. What I wanted to show you guys was after that, right? This is what I like. To me, this is a type of offense, right? I mean, I love to run the football first and foremost and trying to establish that. I'm all for that. But knowing that that's not really our bread and butter, this is what I think we can do a better job of. If we want to have more flow with our offense, which we hadn't had, right? Boom. Quick 5 yards. Jeremy sits it down, hit him real quick. That's a 5-yard completion. Those are extensions of the running game. And that's an easy 5 yards, right? I think we all can agree that pitch and catch, we're good with that, right? Next play. Sorry, I'm skipping ahead because I only got so much time for this break, right? We motion into the trips formation in the boundary, down at the bottom. Quick screen, right? Latsier Brooks. Letting our playmakers make plays, right? Pick up the first down, I believe. Right? Just I just want to show you at least like that sequence. I know it's just 2 quick plays right there, but stuff like that to me, like that's what our offense does well. And I think you got to build on that. When we talk about doing what you do best or like leaning into what you do, we can do those things, right? We're very inconsistent running the football, but those little details, those are the things we were doing early on in the year when we weren't running the ball great and we were able to have success to kind of march down the football field and make plays. So, oh God, he done got Digger on the phone lines, man, talking about Sarkeesian in Texas. Now, and we go back to some longer, deeper developing routes, attacking the middle part of the field, and you actually get what you want, but Ty ends up missing this throw, right? You got what looks to be like a wheel by Brooks, clearing that out. You got this dig pretty much by Bernard. Protection's pretty good, right? Ty's got all day back there. We got open guy. We got to hit on these. Can't have these misses, man. Clean pocket. And it's going to happen. I'm not saying, you expect somebody to be perfect, but as accurate as Ty had been all year, man. I mean, just settle down, collect your feet, hit throw. You know what I mean? You got to hit those, man. Got to have those. Real quick, let me see what we got here in the chat. Alabama will score the first touchdown tonight. Hey, that's one of my keys, man. Got to start fast. Do you think our game plan will be thrown out the window because of the strong winds? No, I don't think it'll be thrown out the window. I mean, I definitely think you have to, take into consideration, hey, I mean, some of these deep developing routes trying to drive the football down the field already been struggling a little bit with that. If these winds are that strong where they're having an effect, definitely could see you maybe kind of cut back to maybe they're not trying to drive the football down the field so much if it's proven to be a little more costly. But I don't think it should change too much. We'll have to see, though. Special teams definitely can make a big difference. We all know that. And welcome back into this game day edition of Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts. Just got done talking with Smitty, and we're about to wrap things up here in a second. But first, big shout out to Phil, one of our consistent listeners, especially over here on the stream, man. Big thanks to him for this super chat. Here is his message. It says, great shows this week, Christian. Appreciate your guests. Let's go, Bama Nation. Bring all the positive vibes. Roll Tide, venga. I like it. Even throwing a little bit of Spanish at the end, man. Shout out to Phil. He's awesome. Always hangs out with us here on the chat. Again, you guys can do that as we do the show Monday through Friday over on YouTube on the stream. Completely free, man. Just ask you guys, hit that like button, subscribe. All that is free. It just helps push the show and helps grow the channel. That said, Chase, we got a few minutes left, man. I want to just make sure we both have enough time. Give our final predictions. And so I guess I'll kick things off. I'll give you a chance to think about it. Keys for this game. Alabama, number one, offensively, have to find a way to pick up that pressure, right? We know Oklahoma is going to bring pressure. I can't remember what the stat was, but I want to say damn near 60% of the snaps, or at least the dropbacks, we saw some type of pressure. We gave up 2 sacks by the running backs in their blitz pickup. That has to be better. Offensive line actually did pretty decent, but still, there was times that, they needed plays in this game. They called pressure. They hit on it. We've got to find a way to negate that and take advantage of it, right? Because when teams are aggressive, there typically are some opportunities if you handle it correctly. I just don't think we've necessarily handled that great. And I'm not saying it's easy either, because Oklahoma they'll show guys up front. At first contact, they'll pop. So they'll take away some of the underneath stuff. They make it difficult, right? But we have to find a way to not only counter, but to challenge that pressure and keep these defenses honest. That's why you can't be one-dimensional. So, again, blitz pickup, right, and defending that aspect of the game, which was huge in the last one, will be huge. You talk about the turnover battle. We already know how big that was. Last time these teams played, we were able to move the football, for the most part, on this defense. I would say enough to be able to win this game, especially given Oklahoma's lack of offense. But the turnovers proved to be costly. We watched the tape, not only the ones that showed up on the stat sheet, but if you go back and look, we got saved, right? The first fumble, not the first one, but one of the fumbles by Daniel Hill ended up resulting in a first down for us. They punched the football out. They had a hat on the football, right? Good defense on their part. We got to protect the football. We got lucky there. We had the second pick that tied through in the red zone, trying to force something that was not there. Luckily, there was a PI, brought it back, it led to a touchdown. But again, if those weren't negated, those are 2 more turnovers in this game, which would have been a total of 5, right? So that's got to be cleaned up. We got to play better and to protect the football. And on the flip side, we got to capitalize. We got to take the football away. We had opportunities last time we played these guys. John Mateer, he threw about 2 of them to us. Could have been pick sixes, maybe. I don't know. Justin Jefferson, I mean, he's got some wheels. I think he could have ran it then. There was not a lot of grass. We got to find ways to come up with turnovers. Our defense is playing really good. You know, last game we played, we kind of slipped up in terms of our red zone defense, which had been really strong. That's got to pick back up. But again, we got to capitalize on those turnovers and the field position battle. I can't harp on that enough. We've been talking about it, and I can't speak about it enough. You go back and look, Alabama has had a lot longer fields to work with. And on the contrary, the teams that we're playing, well, they've been being set up very nicely. Some due to our mistakes. Others, you know, they make some good plays, but still, you can't have that. I mean, you're basically gifting them with easy field position. You're making it a lot harder for yourself. So that has to be better. How do you do that? Protect the football, better special teams, better coverage on special teams, right? Like at Georgia, you can't give up these bigger returns, man. You just can't have it. So that being said, those are the main things I'm looking for. We already know, yes, we need to try to run the football. Yes, we need Ty to get back into rhythm. Yes, we need our receivers to step up. But I think those factors, to me, will be big. And that's why I mentioned it earlier. Alabama, can you recreate the movement that you had offensively, right? On the road, knowing the challenges that come with that. Can Oklahoma, can they recreate the havoc, the turnovers? I think those 2 questions can honestly end up being some of the deciding factors in this game. To me, I view it as a low-scoring game, like a lot of other people. I think it's going to be some downright physical football, 2 teams going back and forth. But the biggest questions to me is what I just mentioned. And can Oklahoma's offense do just enough for them to win, right? If not, I really think Bama has a strong chance to win this football game. If Oklahoma's offense has gifted some opportunities like last time and their defense continues the streak of forcing havoc on us like they did not only the last time we played, but even the time before where they forced 3 interceptions last time we traveled to Norman, that's an uphill climb. And one last key, starting out fast. I think starting out fast will put a lot of pressure on that Oklahoma football team that lacks the offensive explosiveness or really just the spark at all offensively to be able to drive down the field, long fields, and put up enough points, right? I think if you have them playing from behind, that's not a position that they want to be in. That offense is not built to play from behind. So a fast start, I think, could go a long way for Alabama in this game. Not saying that that's easy to do, but I think that would go a long way. My prediction, Chase, oh, man, I feel like I'm being just like everybody else, but I feel like, man, I'm feeling like a 20-17 type deal as well. I personally do. Now, I get a little worried giving us 20 because that consists of 2 field goals. We're talking about win here. I really don't like that. If now that I think about it, I actually think I'm going to go 21-17. Just something scares me about that. Like normally I would say they got good defense. I think they probably get some good stops in the red zone, but I just worry about our field goals, our special teams. You got the win, I guess, causing havoc. I don't know. I'm just going to go 21-17. Chase, what you got for me, man, as we close things out on the radio side of things?
I'm going to go with Bama in this one. I'm going to go 24-10. Yeah, I don't trust our special teams right now, especially in this weather. I need touchdowns to really just finish this game. So, yeah, give me 24-10, Christian.
Chase got 24-10, and if that's the case, that's a 14-point difference. So if you're at R&R Cigars watching the game, that's 14% off your cigar. So make sure you guys go watch there. That way you can get that discount. Big thanks to everybody this week. Big thanks to all of our listeners on Tide 100.9 over on YouTube here in the stream, over on Facebook stream as well. Big thanks to all you guys for making this possible. We appreciate it. We've had a great week, a lot of good guests, a lot of good conversations. A lot of good, really everything. Good vibes over here on the show. So big thanks to all you guys for making that happen. I'm going to close things out, be ready. I'll hang on the string for just a second real quick, and then get you guys ready for the game again. 7 p.m. kick tonight, Central Time. I'll be on late night duty. If you guys want to listen to me do my post-game show that I do on the Crimson Tide Sports Network, you can always tune into that. You can listen to it via Tide 100.9 on the app. Again, about 45 minutes or so after the game concludes, me and Gray Robertson will take over the Crimson Tide Sports Network and bring you immediate analysis and conversations regarding what happens. And hopefully it's a good one. That's what we call it. The Crimson Tide party post-game show. Typically, it's a party for us. Hopefully, we got a party tonight. We'll see you guys then. This has been the Miller's Edge right here, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Art Sport Experts. Victory Monday, hopefully, incoming. We'll see you guys then.
You've been listening to Tackling Sports Daily.
Appreciate you, Chase. All right. I'm probably going to get out of here soon, but I was going to keep the stream here just for a second, just in case anybody had a last-minute question or something I might have missed. Because I know we got started a couple minutes late with this whole the tech stuff, and it's crazy, man. I literally just yesterday ordered another new computer, even though I already had this one. But now it looks like I got to replace the whole mic setup. So again, that's when we talk about like the super chats and support. Like I said, all the support, man, goes right back into the setup. So making sure we have the best stuff. That way we have the best quality content, all that stuff. And most importantly, more reliable, which it sounds like this mic might be time to replace that. So that said, I appreciate you guys, man. I know we got plenty more to break down here. I feel like we hit most of the points, but I was thinking about pulling up some defense, but I think we already know what it is on defense, man. You contain John Mateer, you tackle well in space, and do a lot of quick game, screen game, like Smitty mentioned Sartenga. Their offense, man. I just don't see them being able to put many points up unless you gift them opportunities. Jake says, how would you handle 3rd and long from a front standpoint, and what guys are you using? And that's a great question. I love stuff like that. This is what I would do. So 3rd and long, I know there's always, I guess, the conversation, right? Some guys try to play it safe, drop 8, you know what I mean? Like they try to just take away all the windows. To me, I like being aggressive. I like bringing pressure. I like forcing the issue. Like if you're going to beat us, and we're going to make you beat us. I've always just kind of shied away from, to me, dropping 8. It depends on who you're playing to. I mean, that's going to play a difference too, the type of quarterback you're going against. I mean, there's a number of factors here. But typically, I feel like when you rush 3, and now if you have some dudes, right, that you say, hey, man, we're rushing 3, but they can run some games and we know they can still get some push, constrict the pocket and contain, I would be okay doing a little bit more of that. But to me, half the time when you rush 3, drop 8, the quarterback sits back there all day. He can make himself a sandwich, read a book, and just wait for somebody to just find a window. So I just don't really like that a whole bunch, especially if it's a better quarterback. So I like bringing pressure personally. I like mixing it up. And I think when you have the right personnel, the luxury is you can still drop 7 and only rush 4 because you can have faith that those 4 guys will get home. That's like if you're talking about a defensive coordinator's dream, you want to have 4 guys that you feel confident can get home. That way you don't have to worry about bringing extra guys. You can drop everybody, run all the coverage that you want to run, and know that, hey, these guys they're going to get home some way. So that's what I would love. I would recruit some guys that that have juice off the edge. I'd have some juice in the middle, which I know it's hard to build a team like that in today's society. But listen, the reason we were so good defensively, it was like, for example, like my senior year. I mean, you had me, Anthony Jennings. Who's our other? I'm trying to think of who else. We had Jamie Mosey, and I'm trying to think there was somebody else. But in terms of basically, typically what it was me, who I had 9.5 sacks my senior year. You had Isaiah Buggs, who had, I think, like 9+ sacks. You had Quinnen Williams, who I don't even remember his stats, but we all know Quinnen was a dog. Then you had Anthony, who also had 7-8 sacks. I mean, so like literally you had 4 guys that consistently were like, for us, it was a race to the quarterback. We didn't need to bring all these crazy, simulated pressures, this and that. We could rush 4 and just call games up front. And then literally would be like, I'm either going to force the quarterback up the queue. He's either going to force him out to me. I mean, we didn't even have to do anything crazy. I mean, we were just, it's like, who's going to get there first? But I understand that's also, very spoiled. But yeah. But I like simulated pressures. I like blitzing. I like throwing stuff at people because to me, when you do it right, while it is a little risky on the back and you might give up some stuff, typically, man, if you have guys that can execute it well, it forces a lot of issues. And while you might not hit home on that one, it adds up. That quarterback starts thinking about that. I'm telling you, and it starts changing his decisions throughout the course of the game, right? Because he's starting to expect that. He's starting to say, oh, man, they're coming. And he starts seeing things that might not be there just because of that pressure you've been building. It starts mounting. So I love the way Georgia plays defense. I love the way Oklahoma plays defense. I like the way we play defense. I feel like we've been doing a much better job of mixing it up and doing a lot of things. That's why you see like the clip of like running the simulated with Tim dropping out. Again, people telling themselves that they don't know football when they laugh at that, but you keep seeing week after week somebody runs a simulated pressure with the nose or a tackle dropping out, and it leads to an interception. We showed you guys the one with D Hand literally right after that happened, and here's Carson. Carson tagged us in this one real quick. This was just last night, right? So for anybody wondering why is Tim Keenan dropping in coverage, that's stupid. Well, here's another example, another NFL example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys showing on the line of scrimmage. Simulated pressure, right? Boom. What happens? Guys pop out. What are they doing? Low hole / cutters, right? Just cutting underneath routes, picking up these shallow routes. Quarterback has pressure in his face. Why does he have pressure? They're only blitzing 4. Why does he have pressure? Well, the blocking schemes ends up being an overloaded front to the right. You got 3 guys over here. Tackle, normally he's taught, hey, I got to take the guy inside, the closest threat to the quarterback. Ends up getting Jared Verse, I think that is. Free runner. My former teammate Sam Darnold tries to get it out quick. Oh, this guy who was originally rushing is now dropping in that window. Pick. So that's why I like bringing pressure. That's why I like mixing it up. That's why I like throwing exotic stuff out there. Don't listen to people that post tweets of Tim Keenan dropping and making it seem like Kane Womack is an idiot, or when they used to say, "Oh, why is Will Anderson dropping?" Listen, it's not like they're literally these coaches are going, "Hey, man, we win the game at these certain positions, right? Depending on field or boundary or whatever. That's what that person has a job to do." And you see why it works out. I mean, it's not always just about people. Yeah, they're just telling themselves. But anyway, that was just another example that came up. But good question, Carson. That's personally what I like to do, man. I like mixing it up on defense. Can't be predictable, man. Let's see what else we got. Material will be running, absolutely. And with that, man, you just got to coach your guys up. You just got to make sure they're understanding, man. Hey, we got to create a cage. We got to contain the runner because he's a running quarterback, right? Maybe not the athlete that Milroe was, but I mean, listen, he can make plays with his legs, and that'll be big, right? Defensive, that's really one of the biggest keys. Again, contain the quarterback, tackle well in space, enforcing more turnovers. You do those things, I think we'll be just fine defensively. I mean, that's really what they have to do. They don't have a very explosive offense by any means. I like to see a few stutter and go routes. Since we run so many deep digs over the middle, we got to get those safeties to respect the deep pass. That'll be a good tendency breaker for us. Yeah, we had Ryan on a stop and go against Georgia. We just couldn't hit him. Unfortunately, man, we just don't really have we haven't really hit on any of those real deep shots. I mean, there's one to Ryan against Georgia early on that he dropped, and we just don't really those, those deep overs, digs. That's kind of how we like to attack deep. We don't really like we hadn't really hit any or too many deep posts or things like that. But hey, I'm with you though. I mean, you got to keep a defense honest. You got to throw stuff at them. That way they can't just, gear up for one thing. You end up being one dimensional. You don't want that. Matier's a big guy. I think they know that. Yeah, that's the benefit of playing those guys before. Kind of know what to expect. Talking about running the ball, you got pin and pull right here again. That's why I keep saying, you hear me talk about pin and pull all the time. This is why. I mean, we run it a lot. Now, I know it doesn't go for much here. Oklahoma does a good job running, but I'll be honest with you. Statistically, I'd argue this is probably one of our most beneficial running plays that we have. Again, right here, not much success. They do a good job tracking it down, but that guy making Jam bow up a little bit didn't help. Made him bounce back wide a little bit. Again, not very successful there, but trust me, if you go back and watch the tape, man, compared to the gap scheme that we run, a lot more success with that. But just gotta get a better block there. That way, Jam doesn't have to bow backwards. If he does, that means his momentum is going to carry him forward probably for a couple more yards than instead of just being just a no gain. Coin toss, kick or receive. I always like to kick. I want the ball to have. Always defer. Oh, you had about 3 weeks off. Yeah, and that's the other thing I forgot to mention from like knowing how they are defensively, man. Like we talk about us having some time to get healthy, hopefully come up with our best offensive game plan yet, which I feel that these guys they're going to come out with some shit. I mean, I think they will. I mean, we might not be consistent, but listen, when we need plays, man, we've got some shit drawn up. So I'm like, all right, they've had 2 weeks offensively as a staff to game plan for this game. If we come out tonight and it seems like we're unprepared or we don't have a great game plan offensively, I'm going to be disappointed. I'm just being honest with you. I'm going to be disappointed because you got a head coach, as an offensive-minded guy. You got Grubb, who, garnered a lot of tension, right? Before, from I think what Georgia was after him. I know we definitely tried to hire him. Like, it's that time for these guys to show up. Like, that offensive staff is their time to shine. Because offense has been the blinking light. Like Coach Saban, you talk about Christmas time, he always talks about a Christmas tree, right? You don't want to be that blinking light. You have a tree that's full of lights. Only thing people notice is that one light that's blinking. And he really was using that example for like being failing to execute or like, messing up or something. But I'm saying in this situation, right? Like the offense is the blinking light on the tree right now. Special teams too. We got a couple blinking lights, unfortunately. Now I think about it, now I think about it, the whole tree for this at this point, whole tree had been blinking a little bit. Defense, the only one that's probably solid. You think Grubb would go back to the first Georgia game plan offensively? We ran a lot of screens that game, a lot of quick passing game, extension of the running game. I just don't see why you wouldn't. How do we run the ball in that game? I'm trying to think. I feel like it was decent. It wasn't great until the second half. I remember because when we got in 4-minute offense, man, we were able to pick up some stuff. But there definitely was a lot of screen game, which I think could be big. I mean, you watch how Oklahoma plays. I mean, I think screen game is one way. I mean, you see how, like, for example, this is a perfect play right here. See how far these guys are off. Now, it'd be kind of interesting because the set that we have in terms of our personnel, we got Bernard in the backfield, but, I mean, that's a lot of grass out there. You know what I mean? Like, I just think working the perimeter definitely would be something to consider. Which, ironically, they go to a screen right here. Oklahoma just does a damn good job on it. But see, but to me, like, okay, you got Jeremy Bernard in the backfield. I told you guys this already. As a defense, everybody is going to key in on that. Like, people aren't dumb. Anytime when I'm playing defense and I was on any defense, if we had, like, I mean, look, they're already pointing. Right? I mean, like, people aren't dumb, right? So let's work screen game, but maybe not, maybe not so obvious. We're like, okay, like something's up, right? I mean, we have a receiver in the backfield. Let's key in on it. But hey, man, I respect it. We said we want more screen game. Man, they had it right there. It is what it is, but. It's a good job by them. But again, I mean, it makes it easy when you got personnel like that. It's kind of blinking lights, right? Adam back with another $50 super chat. Adam, what's up, man? Thank you for the super chat, brother. He says, what do you see as the biggest difference between Coach Saban and Coach DeBoer, especially in how they prepare for big games like Oklahoma? Oh, man, Adam, that's a great question. You're going to get me in trouble, man. People are going to start saying, oh, you're Saban, former Saban player hating on the – oh, gosh. No, I'm kidding. Thank you, man. Seriously, thank you. I appreciate that. And seriously, thank you for the support. I just was talking about it, man. All the support gets reinvested and just talked about it. We ordered a new computer last night and had some issues with our mic today. So your super chat, Adam, was going to a new microphone. So thank you so much. Damn, that's a good question, man. Like how do I word this, Adam? I'll say this. Listen, I think Coach DeBoer definitely prepares well. I think he gets his guys ready to go and gets them ready for these moments. But if I had to note the biggest difference to me, and this is just my observation, I feel like, at least just from what we had seen from Coach DeBoer in 2 years, there's a couple times that I felt like we didn't show up prepared the way we needed to. Now, one could argue that that also happened under Coach Saban. While I wouldn't disagree, I also would point out that it was, number one, on a lot of that I feel like was on the back end of Coach's career, like the last couple of years, where a lot of changes with coordinators, new guys being hired left and right, a lot of guys that I used to say this. If you guys listened to me on the radio years ago, I used to say the same thing. I felt like we were hiring people that didn't truly understand like what the Alabama standard was and what things needed to be for that to continue, right? Not trying to just give Coach Saban a pass. I'm just telling you what I know. It's hard for one guy to do it all. And you're like, but he's a head coach, man. Coach was getting older. And was a little bit different then. But to me, I just feel like there's a couple times that I watched our football team over the last 2 years with Coach DeBoer, and I would just think in my head, I'm like, I just don't feel like these guys are as prepared as they probably should be, or they might have overlooked some of the small details, right? I think the first time I really felt that was last year, after we beat Georgia. I'm just going to be honest with you. I felt, and I know we didn't play great against Vanderbilt, but I didn't think we really went into that game as prepared as we should have been. And I think from my perspective, some of that felt like it could have been a little bit of complacency, even on behalf of some of the coaches. I'm just being honest, and I hate to sound like I'm throwing dirt on anybody, but no, this is my honest take. You asked a question, and we gave a very generous donation, so I'm gonna give you my honest opinion. That said, I think this year has been a lot better. I think they learned from some of those things last year, because I do think that was a little bit. I think sometimes we just didn't always show up the right way or have the right level of preparation. I think this year has been better, but I still think some of those little details, man, just feel a little bit different. Like I always give the example, like with Coach Saban, it doesn't matter who we're playing, we're going to practice the same way. There's no difference. And I'm not saying these guys practice differently, but I'm gonna be completely honest with you. There's times when I know like as a staff, like they're not meeting or they're not doing something. And again, it's totally different. They can run things how they run it. I'm not saying they don't do it as much, but there's times where like they'll give their guys off or they won't have something planned versus, and I think back when like with coaches there, I mean, they literally was like around the clock. Those coaches had something. So like little things like that is a difference. Now, I'm not saying that is the difference in, them accomplishing this or not accomplish. I'm just saying that is something that I've noticed. The Rams, right? When the Rams won the Super Bowl, right? Terrell Lewis, who I played with here, he was with the Rams. I was with Carolina. And the way the Rams did things, I mean, hell, at Carolina, I was doing stuff like I had Ron Rivera, then I had Matt Rule. Ron Rivera is a hard-nosed coach. Matt Rule tried to be like a hard-nosed coach, but he tried to bring the whole college process to the NFL, which never works out well. And so we were doing all these, we were doing tackle drills. I mean, we were going full go in practice sometimes, which I didn't even really do in college. And we stunk. The Panthers, we were bad. Then you got the Rams. I remember I would talk to T. Lou, and they're like, nah, yeah, like we're like, they're like, yeah, we already broke camp, bro. Yeah, we got walkthrough. I'm like, walkthrough? Y'all are already in LA or wherever. I'm like, y'all got walkthrough and nice weather. I'm like, bro, we're over here practicing like we're in freaking college again. So I'm not saying that like one way is right or wrong, but to Adam's question, the biggest difference is, to me, I just think sometimes like Coach Saban's attention to detail is just it's hard to match. So I'm not even saying it's really on coach. I think anybody. I mean, the only person I would say probably comes close to is Kirby, and that's literally because he took what he learned from Coach Saban and he's doing it at Georgia. So that's how I put it. But when you specifically say big games, Adam, I think they're going to have plenty of attention to detail. I know they're all getting those guys ready to go. Right. I'm talking about more in other situations or other games. That I've noticed that I just felt like we weren't as ready. I mean, look, I'll be honest. Even as recent as the SEC championship game, I'm not saying it falls all on Coach DeBoer, but I don't think. I'm just going to say the offensive staff. I don't think the offensive staff had us in the best position possible in that game. And if I'm calling a spade, I think if you asked those coaches to give you an honest answer on that, I'm 150% positive they would agree. Because they may or may not have made comments like that. Maybe not publicly, but I'm just saying they could have probably gotten us a little bit more ready to go for that game. But like I said, honest. I mean, look, I got to be honest here. I mean, Adam, you gave a very generous donation. So, I mean, I had to be honest with that. I don't like saying those things all the time, but, it is what it is. Appreciate that, Adam. Seriously. Thank you so much, man. Wait, were y'all laughing at? Lots more yelling. Nah. Wait, y'all talking about on my end? Christian's getting a new mic system. Thanks to you. Yeah, seriously, no. Like, it's happened again. Like, I guess it's a short in this thing, man. So, Adam Super Chat is going to the mic. Of course, bro. I hope all is well, man. Funny thing about Adam, man. Adam actually, Adam's a fan of my dad's. Like when he was playing back in the league, because when my dad used to be on here a bunch, Adam would be throwing out like stories of when my dad played, and it's just kind of crazy, like the generation thing. Like Adam watched my dad, watched me, then he's watching us do the show. So it's just really cool, man. Definitely really cool stuff. I'm gonna tell him that you're back on here, man. Like supervisor one needed today. Good to see those likes up. Oh, they up, man. Appreciate that, Dom. Oh, hell yeah. We already hit 50, man. That was a goal. Good deal, man. Appreciate you guys. Seriously. That's right. Yep. Adam's from up north in New Jersey. All right. Let me put this on real quick because I know you guys want to see this what we got? 3rd and 9. Talk about bringing pressure. Let's see. Is this that sack fumble? Am I remembering this right? I think it might be. Again, they're showing simulated pressure. What does that mean? They're showing a bunch of pressure and they pop out, right? Let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys in line of scrimmage. Common theme with simulators. Normally shown about 6, end up dropping 2 typically, and rush 4. And it can be different and it comes from all over. You don't really know. But again, the whole point of it is you get this offensive line to hopefully miscommunicate or call the wrong scheme because they don't necessarily know. That's why as a defender, it's so important, right? Your presence is everything. Everybody's got to show like they're coming, which these guys, I always say, are doing a nice job. Only 110 looks like he might pop. Now he got down a little bit as we rolled it. So I don't know. These guys have good posture right here. So right now, if you're tied, this is that sack fumble. Because I remember now, we got what I call the Tennessee splits, right? Real wide splits. So you got tight bunch stacks. You got stacks, but with wide splits. Everybody's close to the sidelines. So let's see what happens here. Boom. So this ends up even being different. Great disguise, right? I mean, I forgot how this went, but look at 5. 5 ends up coming. 5's body language. I mean, I know he's looking in there, but he's kind of in this apex area. He ends up coming, and I actually was right. 10 ends up popping out. 34 pops out. So you've got man up top, right? Everybody's in man coverage here. The whole idea behind what we're doing with these is because we've done this a lot, and we've had success earlier on with it. It's called switch release. So you're getting these stacks, right? And then you end up trying to switch release, right? That because what happens is these guys have to sort it out, and there's going to be different rules. Sometimes it's like, hey, we're staying on our guy. You got 1, I got 1, you got 2. After 10 yards, we stick with it. It just depends. Everybody coaches it different. But the reason you do that is because you try to create some confusion. And we've hit on this. I remember Vanderbilt, we did a nice job with some. I think it was very similar play here. We hit this hole shot. Similar part of the field, by the way. But what happens is they don't really bite on that. They sort it out just fine. Then Oklahoma doing what they do best, man. They have some hole players. They drop guys out. They cut underneath defenders, underneath routes, be in those windows, and it causes just enough hesitation to where Ty holds a football just too long, and 44 ends up making a damn good play. We call it a cross chop. That's the technique he just worked. Cross chop with that like jump through to it. I mean, that's a clinic teach tape. But you see, Ty's trying to work that middle part of the field, but I mean, he shouldn't. Good thing he done throw it. I mean, that definitely is going to be a pick, and you just see that, man. Everything's covered up, nowhere to go. But this is where I think, like number one, if you're Ty here, you got to get rid of the football. There's nowhere to go here, guys. Right? That's why I'm saying you have to learn. No hot route. Phil says, Dr. Crystal, what's up, man? Good to see you in here. No hot route. On this one, no, I think there is a chance maybe somebody leaked out, but no, you don't even have the luxury to, because this ends up being, they bring 5 this time, right? Because 5 ends up being the 5th guy coming. But you know what's crazy? I mean, everybody else, again, it only takes one guy, man. And you got a true freshman out there again. He's trying. You know what I mean? You can't be on him too much. I mean, again, this is clinic by this guy. I mean, cross chop, boom, connects with the hand. We always say, beat the hands, beat the man. I mean, he beat his hands clean, man. You know, it's a really good rep by this guy, but everybody else doing a solid job. But you're right. To me, like, this is in my head, I'm like, and what was the down and distance again? Is it third? Yes, third down, third and long. To me, they're like, look at all these routes, guys. Every single route is 16, 17 yards deep. I mean, I get it. It's third and long, but still, I mean, there's just no. Your only option right here is to throw the football away, and that's what you got to do. But easier said than done. But to me, I'm like, to me, he looks like he's trying to force this in here. I don't even know why he's holding it at this point, because there's literally nothing. There's nothing. Everything's strapped up. Got to throw that football away. Instead, strip sack, they get the football. And I think that only was a field goal, which is a good part on our defense. Who was that? Young Michael Carroll? Yeah, that was Michael Carroll, man. Michael Carroll on that one. But, again, young guy. Was inside zone or duo? Let me see. We got duo here. Already talk about gap scheme. Again, we just don't really run gap scheme great. All right, let's see what happens on this one. Duo, right? You got 2 combo blocks here, right? These guys are comboing up. Somebody's supposed to be climbing. Parker, the 7. He gets there, but just not enough initial movement anyway. I mean, 52 just stonewalling that stuff. Fall forward for some yards, but fall forward for 5, which we'll take it. Bringing pressure off the edge to the field. We run into the pressure, but it ends up, again, which should have been an explosive play, but instead, one guy, man. One guy. I mean, let's watch this from the back. Again, they bring pressure, but it works out well because he takes himself out of the play here. But Brailsford's got to get there. I mean, good play by 11 using his athleticism. I mean, we just don't. But the other thing I'll say is the back two, though, can help out here too. To me, we talk about the vision. I mean, if you see your lead blocker, he has this inside leverage like this. I get it. Design is supposed to go there, but brother, you got to put your foot in the ground. You got to cut up field, man. Like this is where these are the little things that we need to do better for this offense. Because look at all this grass. I mean, again, like we're shooting ourselves in the foot too much. We're running right. Goodness, Adam is not playing. Goodness. Hold on. Let's get to it. Let's get to the super chat. Hold on. Dang, Adam, man, I appreciate it, man. Seriously. But right there, Brailsford's got to be better. Back's got to have better vision. So, again, for all the questions, I know we break this down all the time. I know it gets repetitive, but again, the tape shows you what's going on. Like, you don't need to forget what the coaches are saying, forget what the talking heads are saying. The tape shows what's going on. And it's always, little execution, even though Play calling could be better. Let's get to this. Adam with another $50 super chat. Goodness gracious, man. Adam, seriously, thank you so much. Adam, at this point, brother, if you want, man, like we can just make you I think he said you're a lawyer or something like that, man. Hell, if you want us to advertise, you need to talk about something. All that you've donated, brother. I'd be glad to just get you a sponsorship at this point. Let you advertise. Seriously, man. But thank you so much. Adam says, Christian, when defenses disguise coverage or rotate post snap, how much freedom do Alabama's receivers have to adjust routes on the fly to find space versus just running the route exactly as called? Really good question. So typically, Adam, the way it works is receivers will have, and I wish we had Slade on here because he really would give you an even better explanation. But from everything I've understood about route running, there's always going to be, landmarks and things like that, that guys need to stick with. A lot of times receivers do get off landmarks and things like that. And that's when you start seeing miscommunication with the quarterback. And to the natural eye, when you're just watching the TV, and it's easy to go, damn, that quarterback missed that throw. What is he doing? But there's a number of times, and sometimes the broadcasters will catch it. Sometimes these receivers aren't running on their landmarks or doing things that they're supposed to be doing specifically, and it causes a disconnect there. That said, there also are rules where these receivers will say, like, if I get press man, or if I'm saying this coverage or that coverage, they adjust certain things, right? So they can kind of bend the rules or adjust, right? There's some exceptions, I should say. So it really depends. It probably depends on the system, the coaching, the route, the concept of that play, but it kind of works both ways, I guess I would say. There's some times where that concept is set, like, hey, this is your landmark, this is what you're doing. But there's a lot of times where, depending on what the defense is doing or what they're showing, it does allow for guys to do certain things. For example, like you might have one route if you get this coverage, but then if they line up in this, you're supposed to basically not audible, but kind of, you're changing your route to something else, right? Or, hey, if we get this, I'm going to sit down on the curl. If not, I'm on the go. Does that make sense? So there's different things that can happen within the play. But again, it really, some coaches are different, some systems are different. But that is very common, that they also do have flexibility. That's the word I was looking for. They have flexibility depending on what they get, depending if it's press, depending if it's man, or they get zone, if it's too high, if it's a one high look, because there's going to be different vulnerabilities depending on that, right? Like if you have a too high look or they're showing quarters coverage, you might say, hey, instead of running this, sit it down for this, right? Or, oh, it's covered two, go, right? Because we know that corner is going to squat. So that's a really good question. I think it really, and it just depends. We can see if we have an example. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's see. Let's see if we can try to get some type of example. Oklahoma, again, showing 6 on the line. Let's see what they do with it. Because I'll be honest with you. We talk about how much they pressure and blitz. Just remember, it's not like they're bringing like these all-out blitzes. They show a lot, but they pop a lot. And that's what makes them really effective, because you get one look pre-snap, and then post-snap is different. You have to be quick as a quarterback. Boom, they pop. And this ends up being a sack, if I remember correctly. It's a cat blitz. They're bringing the corner, but damn good job again. They got 4 guys working a game up front. Then you got this corner coming free. Boom. And this is that play. But look what they're doing. Now, you might have an opportunity if you had time, which we don't have time, but you got Ryan on what looks to be like a post. Hell, if you had all day, you definitely, if you can make that throw, that could have been explosive. Look like you might have had a small window here to try to squeeze something in there. But at the end of the day, they get home on their pressures. And it's on Daniel Hill, man. This guy, we looked up his weight. I think this guy is like 180. It's a cornerback. I mean, Daniel Hill is 245 pounds, man. And I understand. I played kick return. I get it. People have all the velocity, the momentum running at you. It's not easy, but that's why you have to give it to them. You can't catch. Our backs, man, we're catching a lot. You got to be the enforcer. That's what Ruben always told me. You got to be the enforcer. You got to bring it to them. Can't catch. catch. That's what happens. A 180-pound guy can put a 245-pound guy on their ass, man. You can't catch. But they end up popping out. Ends up being some type of, let's see, they're bringing the corner up top. Down here, fours. Let's see, that safety's replacing that corner. So it's almost like a quote-unquote cover two type concept. Up top, down below. I'll be honest. I mean, with it being a pressure, it's hard to tell exactly what they're running here. Regardless, though, the common theme is they do a good job when they're bringing these pressures, man. They always have guys over the top, whether it's in the form of half players or whatever. They got players over the top, and they've got guys dropping out, cutting underneath defenders. This time they don't have the low hole, but this guy does a nice job running with Ryan, helping that safety out. Another switch release down here, but you see everything, man. They cover almost everything up. And so that's what makes Oklahoma. If you're wondering why Oklahoma's defense is very tough, they disguise pre-snap. They bring pressure. They run a lot of simulator stuff. They show one thing pre-snap. They get to something totally different, and that's both up front and on the back. So it's tough for the offensive linemen because they're showing, again, we just watched it. When they show 6 guys up here, 2 guys pop out, and they're bringing a corner this time, right? I mean, it's a lot to work with up front. It's a lot for the quarterback to dissect on the back end. And by the time you start trying to adjust and go through your reads and your progressions, you're already facing pressure, man. That's why I said if you're aggressive and you execute well, which is what these guys do, it's a recipe for some really good defense. Not to mention, I mean, when it comes to stopping the run, they do a good job too. You got some teams that are just really aggressive. They fly out field. They're vulnerable against the run, but they'll make a lot of negative plays like sacks and whatnot. These guys do a little bit of both. They'll stonewall you up front against the run, and then when it's third and long passing situations, man, they bring the heat. See it from the tight copy. And again, man, it's a common theme. Everybody else, man, the offensive line, who, yes, they need to be a little more consistent, but we keep saying they've done a pretty – you got to give them some credit. They've done a much better job this year compared to the past couple of years. But, again, man, our 245-pound back, literally bulldozed. Can't have it. Can't have it. I'm not picking on him. I promise I'm not picking on him. I'm just talking about what needs to happen. We got to have it. We just talked about it, man. I'll stonewall you up front. They have some big boys, brother. They have some big physical dudes up front. Good job at run support by that corner. It's good defense. Good unit, man. It's a really good unit. There's no other way to put it. Stonewall you up front on the line of scrimmage. Physical DBs coming downhill making tackles. So here we're checking it. Let's see if, because I remember we talked about this at the Auburn game. Let's see about this one. Everybody's saying we want to go tempo. Don't give them time to check. Let's see. We check. Thanks again, Adam. Seriously, thank you. I'm going to move this real quick just so we can see this. Let's see what happens. Whoops. Click over the screen. Sorry. Running back exit, right? Trying to see. And again, part of the reason we're doing that, why? See what they're in. Nobody runs with them. So right now, Ty's getting to his check. We're saying, hey, they're in zone coverage. Nobody ran with our running back when we had them exit. So now we're in empty. So they do end up checking. When we watch the Auburn game, sometimes, Auburn checked. Other times it didn't. Oklahoma checks. Let's see how it works out for us. Now they check to a pressure. We block it pretty decent as of now. But see, this is what's confused. Look at, was this Ryan up top? Like, what's he doing? Y'all see that? So to me, this is an example of like the whole point of us checking to check. Sorry, hit the mic. This ends up being, I don't see the point of this. I mean, because it looks like there's maybe confusion here He's running it out, but he turns into blocking. I mean, I just don't really know what's going on offensively right here. I mean, like, we took all that time off the clock to check. I mean, this is when I don't understand. He feels some pressure, but I mean, again, he stepped up. So I mean, he's okay right now. I mean, it's definitely, condensing a little bit. But once again, Oklahoma just doing a nice job, man. Got defensive ends dropping out here, taking some of those underneath routes away. They're good, man. Good defense. All right, we'll watch a couple more plays real quick, and then we'll get out of here real quick. Missed the running back. Yeah, you missed him at the bottom, but you got to remember Arthur too, though. Number one, that's a long throw because we're on the opposite hash, right? So that would be a long throw. I think he hit the panic button a little too early right here. Like, see how that's a lot of grass to throw. I mean, typically they're not advising, your quarterback's not advising necessarily. You know what I mean? That's a lot of grass to throw. But you're right. I mean, listen, I think he's got the arm strength to do it, but he just timing's got to be there. This guy's got to be ready because once he turns, I'm telling you, this guy's going to put his foot on the ground and he's going to start working back. But yeah, I mean, that was really about the only option he had. But I think, if he would have just settled down and just really flipped his hips and made the throw, on the right time, it would have been about the only thing he had there. I just don't understand how that was what we had coming up after the whole check and all that. To me, I'm just like, at that point, you guys are right, man. Work some tempo. I mean, we're just wasting our time if we're not going to actually get into a decent play or give ourselves a chance. What we got here? We got trips to the field. 6-man protection. We keep the back in there. And so I guarantee you they probably on the headset realized Ford been playing off like that because they immediately go to this quick out by Bernard real quick, just hitting them, boom. But you see how long it took for that football to travel there? That's why I was saying the timing's got to be there. The timing's not there, brother. That is picked off. Yeah, that's why I was saying you gotta hit it, boom. That's why the ball's coming out as soon as he snaps back around. But make the catch, ends up being, is it third down? No, we got first. Another pin and pull concept. There you go. Right. That's why I told you guys, man. Pin and pull is probably our best running play. The last example, one of the best examples, but here you go. Run it to the boundary this time. Got nothing but grass, but you got two wide outs to the top of the field. So you got the passing strength. They're doing a good job with the numbers right here, right? Because a lot of teams align. Another thing people don't talk a whole bunch about, passing strength, stuff like that, trying to get numbers. Good job at the top, getting the numbers away with the passing strength. End up getting that motion itself. You see what it did to the DBs, right? Even more influence over there. End up running pin and pull back to the boundary. Got a lot of grass right here. Ends up being a really good running play. Gonna need some more of those. All right, we got a few more plays, guys. We're almost done. I feel like I'm like teaching a class. I got like students like ready to leave. I'm like, all right, class, we're almost done. Got a little I formation right here, man. Shoot. It's a good play. Was that Cuevas? Yeah. Let's look at the tight copy. Got Cuevas, the lead blocker. Nice job with the jump cut by Jam. We'll take it. Oh, yeah, this was our last drive. Hopefully we're going to, march down the field and score, but it didn't happen that way. FIB, formation of the boundary, running the football again. Interesting, man. We got 4 minutes left in the game, and now we decided to really commit to the running game. Now, this is the part I think kind of goes back on kind of like the coaches' run. It's kind of like that's kind of interesting, but I understand also they were trying to run the clock down. That way they could probably just get down, score last points, not give Oklahoma much time to have the football. But I would argue, Oklahoma's offense, they're not really built to march down and, you know what I mean, go score quick like that. So zone goes nowhere. Second and 8. Hopefully we see a lot of that quick passing game tonight. Just stealing easy yards, setting yourself up third and manageable, third and short. We like to go for it on fourth down anyway. So those little things on first down I think could be big. Definitely help get us into a rhythm offensively. 3rd and 2. I'll be honest with you. I'm not mad at the call here, given, if you look at this box, especially after that motion, they got a 5-0-5. They're like in an odd front, man. It's 3rd and 2. I know they got those two backers right there, but to pick up 2 yards, man, you would hope that that's manageable given the look you got on defense, especially after that motion. Problem is, man, zero kind of ragdolls Parker. Get stonewalled there. Then I think, was this the last play right here? Or no, we get this. Yeah, we get this. And around. Tell you, when it comes up to drawing those plays up, man, we can do that. We just can't get a damn rhythm going. How often is OU's defense out of position? I'll be honest with you. I wasn't really watching it. I was focusing a lot more on kind of our offense, and I wasn't, I guess, necessarily trying to see exactly what they were doing as much as I was focused on our offense. But I feel like they at least from what I've seen in the games that we played against them, I feel like they do a pretty decent job. Stone is a good player. Yeah, no, they got some good players up front. 100%, man. 100% they do. Let's see what we got here. 2x2. Trying to work the back. Is that Stone? No, that's oh yeah. Another pressure to do it. 10, man. Picking up those blitzes from 10 be important. He had himself a day. I think he had 2 sacks? We'll watch the tight real quick. Well, let me go to the wide. I just want to see the routes. You see, they always got these guys popping underneath. That's why you got to be careful, even on the like running a mesh concept, right? With Cuevas and what's his name? And we would have had Bernard. If he had time, we would have had Bernard. But you just got to be careful. We talk about those little, simulators where people pop those defensive linemen out. Just got to be smart, man. Don't force anything because they will pop guys out underneath. What happened here? Vandermark don't even see him. Damn, I ain't gonna lie though. That's a tough concept though. Really the way it should work is they should all end up down, right? Nearest threat. He should be on 10. He should squeeze on 44. And 38 should be the hot. And it would have worked out perfect. 38 ends up popping, but that's what these guys are taught. They're taught to show like that to get exactly this, then pop out. That way, it literally is like a double-edged sword. It's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone, right? Good disguise. I mean, you see that you saw that safety sneak back there. So they disguised it at first. They're showing a 2-high shell, drop to a single high shell, ends up playing out cover 3. It's a really good disguise pre-snap. We got plenty of time in the pocket, but y'all see it, man. Like, and I guess you can try to dump it off short, but that's what they want. That's probably the way to go here. Ty ends up trying to drill it down there. We just missed that, which, to Adam's point, this is actually, it might be an example. Matter of fact, this is an example of what Adam pointed out with his super chat. Is it still over here? But when Adam asked about the ability for receivers, this is actually an example of what Adam's talking about. Right? They got cover 3. That corner's just running down with them, right? That corner is all over that, right? You're not throwing that ball deep. So what does he do? He ends up sitting down. That's an adjustment by the receiver right there. We just don't make the throw. So that was actually a good example of what Adam was talking about. That's why I said it's a really good question by Adam, man. All right, let me be careful. We've been letting this play. I don't want them to say anything about the clips. We're almost done, though. So we miss on that, unfortunately. Which that ended up being a big miss, man. Boom, we hit that. Oklahoma's playing real soft because it's 3rd and forever. Right? End up finding a window, and that's what I'm talking about. That's why I don't like just dropping 8 all the time, because you can always try to find little spots in these zones. If he's got forever to throw and they're rushing 4. Just going back to that other question that we had. And then here it is, last one, 4th and 6. Try to hit Ryan on this out. Good coverage. Don't execute, man. Ball game. Moral of the story is, like we just saw, man, Oklahoma plays really good defense. They're going to force a lot of stuff on you. There's not many gimmies. But it's 23-21. Marching down the field. Almost crossing the 50-yard line with, what was it, like a minute or so left in the game. Hopefully just doing what we've done, like we in the past several times, right? Going and getting the not walk-off touchdown or walk-off points, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Like just taking the lead and having trust in our offense this time. It didn't work out for us like that. So moral of the story is, as bad as we played, we still were right there in position. Just ultimately got stopped here. So, man, hopefully we got a different result tonight. Hopefully we don't see all the turnovers that we saw in this tape, but that's why I wanted to pull this up and watch it with you guys, just so you could see, like, yes, we had opportunities of moving the football down the field. Yes, we had a lot of turnovers, and while it's easy to say, oh, yeah, just limit the turnovers and we win, you guys see on tape, they weren't just like random turnovers. These guys, they forced them. So you got to clean that part up and just know, man, I mean, if it does come down to it, we got to win that battle. They beat us right here. This drive, they got the dub. So field goal would have won it. We couldn't even do that. So we got to figure out, man, how to win and finish football games this time around. All right, that'll do it for us. Hope you guys feel ready for this game. I hope you guys have enjoyed this week here on the Miller's Edge. Appreciate everybody, all the support, all our viewers, listeners, Tide 100.9, Adam and Phil and all the others that donate and leave super chats. Again, y'all are investing in the show, man. Y'all are investors. We'll just look at it that way. Y'all are investors, right? Kid you not. I mean, I literally have a new computer I'm going to pick up today, and now we're getting a new mic. So we'll be doing that and keep on rolling for you guys. And hopefully we'll be back on Monday for a Victory Monday, getting ready for Indiana. Sorry, I know I'm kind of running out of gas, so I'm not going to lie. I'm a little tired. But we got to keep it going, because tonight I got the post-game show. If you guys want to listen to that, it is on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Me and Gray Robertson will be covering that, breaking the game down for you guys about 45 minutes or so after the conclusion of the game. You guys can listen to it there on the Crimson Tide Sports Network, wherever you listen to that. So wherever you listen to the games, if you listen to it via radio, that's where you'll hear the LLH post-game show with myself and Gray Robertson. So that'll do it for me. I'm gonna go eat some lunch, rest up a little bit, get ready for this game, get ready to do this show tonight, and hopefully we can see the Tide rolling in Norman. We'll see you guys on the flip side. Appreciate you guys.